Today's show is brought to you by the Division 6 comic book, created and produced by Michael Varner and executive producer Theodore Young. Division 6 is a James Bond meets Mission Impossible-like geopolitical thriller. The protagonist is Seth Banks, an African-American male genius in cryptology and economics that secretly works for a rogue organization of the CIA called Division 6. Be sure to click the link in the chat room or in the video description to view the comic book. New chapters are added bi-weekly. Stuck to the bottom.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up, good people? What's up? Welcome back. Shout out to right there. Nope, just said it right there. That's fine. Thank you. Emmett Perry, the only one to care about me. Everybody else is like, he don't know he don't know we can hear him. Don't say nothing. Everybody else was like, shh. Let's listen. He gonna say something crazy. Emmett Perry, the only one care about me, tried to let me know that I had a hot mic, and I'm sitting here talking to my son behind the scenes. Emmett Perry, the only one to care about me. Y'all was trying to get me caught up. Like, we got him today. He about to get caught slipping today. Everybody, I know y'all heard that. Y'all could have tried to warn me. Y'all don't got no love for me out here. But what's up? What's going on? What's up? I got a pop filter. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna make the static when I start getting loud and stuff stop, but we'll see. Crypto Boys in the building. Shout out to Early Bird Squad. Those are making it in bright and early before we get things started. He says, Theo, you fumbled the bag. Holy smoke. Oh, yes, a lot of bag fumbling that has happened with a lot of brothers in this space. He says, this is one thing this space, shout out to Mac the Trucker. He said, this is one thing that this space have is horror simp tales. Salute to Theo. I've told y'all my worst simp stories, simp tales. Shout out to Solo TV 84. My worst ones, I have not told. I may tell them someday, or they may go to the grave. I'm still debating on that. I got some bad ones. I give y'all the you I got some bad ones. Logan JJ in the building. He says in my Kanye voice, how, Sway? We about to find out. We about to definitely find out. Queen Q in the building says, good morning, chat and Bernard Riley. Good morning to Queen Q, the pioneer in the building. Salute and shout out to you. He said, I'm not sure what part of Michigan Brother Riley is based out of, but I'm going to keep it real. Business-minded brothers like him in the Midwest should organize and establish hot zones in the region. Right on. I'm with you. I agree. 100%. But shout out to everybody who's made it on in. And before we bring up Theo, the man of the hour, we got to get to Malcolm in the middle, 87 in the building. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. All right, let's get ready. Let's get this thing going. We gotta get down to the bottom of this. So bringing up the man Theodore Young. Okay, I'm not gonna use the government, even though it is, up and available in places for people who can see it. The executive producer of the Division 6 comic book. So yeah, definitely gotta shout you out for that. I hope. Well, Michael Varner emailed me. I didn't even get back to him, but he emailed me thanking. He said he liked the way that the ad looked and everything. So that's a good deal. So
I was aware I heard about that. It looks great. You did a great job. So I'm happy. I say do some more of that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's gonna be some more of that coming down the pipeline. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna show all my hand, but I get some offers from some people about advertising some things. So I'm gonna be easing into that. But gotta be careful with it. I don't just want just a bunch of ad for some damn hand soap that make you that get rid of Alzheimer's. I don't nobody. I'm not about to be advertising none of that kind of stuff. But but let's get into it. I don't know if you're on mute, but let's get into it. The first question I always ask. We almost got 100 people in the building, so make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come on in. Hit that like button. But corny question I always ask. I think I may have asked you this before, but how did you get involved in this space? How did you find the manosphere? I'm assuming you're one of the Kevin Samuels people that came in after finding out about Kevin Samuels, and you found out about the space he came from. But I'll let you explain it. I think that might be your story, but I'll let you go ahead and explain it.
It's actually a part of the story. It'll be how I got into manosphere. It'll be part of how this whole happened. So I mean, I will explain it also. But in 2010, I did this search, which I will talk about more, and I found mgow.com. And I went on there and started finding out more information. I'll say more about this later on. 2012, I took the RP. And then from 2013 to 2015, I was doing basic, what I call initiation studies with Sandman. And I was going through very deeply steps in my life, decisions that I had made in my life. And until 2007, I don't know, in 2017, 2018, I don't know how I got to Coach Greg Adams. Exactly, some things, it was kind of esoteric, but I mean, I was in the manosphere quite a lot. But I didn't show my face, I didn't show my identity, nothing. But I started participating a little bit in chats. And I got to the Black Manosphere, I think in 2019 with Donovan Sharp. Donovan Sharp was the one who actually got me to start showing my face and interacting with other Black men online like this. And then Kevin Samuels was with Donovan Sharp. That's how I got into Kevin Samuels. I was like, oh yeah, I'm converted. And then in his group, The Mix, which I finally got into, then Sir Tice got me to know Little Big Nate, and then that's how I got to know you.
Right on. Good stuff. Good deal. So we about to go ahead and get right into it. I'll let you decide where we're going to start because it's your story. So I'll let you can start it. Go back as far as you need to.
Okay.
But we're about to get down to the genesis, the Marvel origin story.
Yeah.
Of how you were making $15K a month based off my math. That's $180K a year.
Yeah.
And somehow ended up homeless while doing it. And I'm assuming, I think I already know, women had something to do with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was it. But that's the core of it. So I'll let you start it. Go back as far as you need to.
Okay. I'll definitely do that. And one person's in there in the chat saying my voice is entirely white. Yeah, that's correct. My mom is white, so I do have a white accent. It came right from her, from that side of the family. Let me go ahead and explain what actually was going on. So from 1997 to 2010, I was in Japan. I was married to a Japanese woman. In 2008, she passed away. She died in childbirth, and the child also died.
Oh damn.
Yeah, there's other stuff that's going on. I'm not going to go into it because it gets too sad. But she was totally gone, and I was absolutely miserable. And at that point, I saw the vision of the red pill, and I saw that I should actually drop it. And some of my friends were saying, "Don't worry about this. It's actually not such a bad thing. You're 34 years old and single and educated, and you're black. This is good. This is good. Like, take it, because you're not going to have this again." But I was absolutely miserable. So what I did was, this is when the story really starts. So I met a Filipina online, and I brought her and her 2 kids to Tokyo. And
wait, you were living in Tokyo?
Yeah, I was living in Tokyo.
Okay.
So I brought her over to Japan, and I thought that I would just continue on with my life, and I would just continue being a husband, and now I have kids, and I can make kids with her. And I spent a lot of money on her. This was not something small. So I got her in Japan, and she's turned around, and she started dating other guys that she had met online in Japan. And I was aware of this. I was like, what the heck? Like, this is not going to happen anymore. And
wait, this is while you're living in Tokyo, working in Tokyo. I assume had to be making really good money in Tokyo.
I was making about $150,000 to $200,000 a year in Tokyo at this point, and I had my own company.
So you flew her in from the Philippines.
Yep.
Her and her children.
Yeah.
Her and 2 kids.
Yep.
Okay.
And
already going wrong.
Yeah, it's already going wrong. But my desire is, like, I'm still mourning losing my wife. So I'm not really able to face the reality of this. And I just want to, like, I want to continue being a husband. And so what my definition of being a husband is someone who supports and loves a woman. And I'm really going hardcore on this definition. I'm not backing down at all. So that means if I don't have a woman in my life, that I have no one to whom to give.
So in a way, you were more or less filling a void, so to speak. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you lost your wife, you lost the child, and so this woman with children seemed like, okay, it was making you whole again in your mind, at least. That's what you
were thinking. And so she safely gave birth. So I was like, well, you can give birth again, right? So I'm going to keep on going. I can make kids with you. I'll accept your kids, everything. Her as a single mother, again, she was a total nightmare once she arrived to Tokyo. Once she got out of the Philippines, got the ticket, total nightmare, horrible. So I decided to stop financing her family in the Philippines.
Oh,
right. Yeah. And she got angry with this, and she took off, left her kids with me.
But she was already, after she was already there, you was taking care of her and her kids, and she was already, I guess, swiping right on Tinder in Tokyo.
Yeah.
To try to monkey rabbits, as they say, monkey branch the other guys while she was there. And while you're doing all of that, you're still sending money to the Philippines, taking care of a small village, probably.
Yeah, she had quite a number. She had over 10 people in her family, so I was making sure they were taken care of. And I decided, no, there's no more for that anymore. You're here, and the money should be used for us making a family. Let's go do this. And she did not want to do that. So again, she didn't like that I stopped funding her, and so she took off and became a prostitute. Yeah, and she left her 2 kids with me, and she was also trying to get welfare from the Japan government, and Japan government doesn't give welfare like this. It doesn't give. It barely.
I was about to say, I don't think they do that over there.
No, they don't do that at all. And so they thought. So she thought she can Then she thought she would say that I was abusive, and that she would get some sort of domestic violence money from the government, and the government didn't do that at all either, because they looked at my record and they're like, nah. What the worst thing we'll do, or the most we'll do, is revoke this man's visa and send him back to America. That's it.
Wow. Okay. I've gotta push a necessary pause. There's so many things to highlight here. Now, one, there are the SYSBM travel guys. Not all of them who do this. There are some who are sensible, but there are those that make it seem like just go get you a woman from overseas somewhere, and then you don't got to deal with this. They don't act like that over there. Now, I've always been one to say everything is on a bell curve. There's percentage rate. One group may do something at a higher percentage rate than other groups, and one group may do it at a lower percentage rate than other groups. But that type of behavior is prevalent with women of all races. It's all a matter of percentages in this environment versus that environment. That's one key point that needs to be made for people who own that passport game. And so I'm glad. And you're still as far as I know, we'll get into that, what you're currently doing right now, as far as your dating life. If you we'll get into that. But I think you still be more or less messing with foreign women for that matter. But you still got to have the same vetting criteria, so to speak. So were you just operating on the mindset that, hey, she from the Philippines, different area, different culture, probably a sexy accent and some long hair, I know she gonna act right. Was that in your head back then?
That was part of it. I mean, I went to the Philippines twice to meet her and her family. So I mean, I did have a long vetting process. I mean, I knew her for several months, and she, oh boy, there's a whole story with her. But there were multiple red flags, but I thought I could fix them. And she was very nice, actually, while I was in Manila with her. She wasn't from Manila. She was from the countryside in the Philippines, which was better as far as I was concerned. And so I really enjoyed her. I mean, I knew her mom, I knew her brothers, I knew everybody was going on. So I thought it was a pretty sure bet. And then, of course, she already had 2 kids, so I don't have to worry about childbirth. She can give me children, and then
hold up. Wait a second. This stuff right here, okay, look at it. It bothers me that he says he doesn't date black women, even though that stuff right there, when they say stuff like that, women who, if they didn't know that right now you currently make $50,000, they wouldn't even see you walking past them on the street. But it's a problem. And you don't date black women though. You don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Yeah, cut it out. Cut it out.
I'll say to you, Sister George. Remember, it was black women who put me on the airplane in the first place. So why would I be dating them when I had an obvious reason to not date women in the United States? But we're going to go to that later on.
You see, but he don't date black women. that drive me crazy. Like yeah, just beating down the door. Like, cut it out. Here we go. We got Snuggles in the building. Shout out to Snuggles. Shout out to Snuggles.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive.
You like that, Snuggles? You over there dancing. She said, I hope he understands the way how this conversation sounds and how he will, I think she means how he will be looked at to other young men. Waf, you are setting yourself. I think she means setting yourself up. Not really, because the brother came out on top. But we probably we're gonna get to the end of that. We're gonna get through all of that. We're gonna get through all of that. Sick Lid in the building with the $20. Appreciate that. Shout out to you for the $20.
I want 150,000. So we can settle out of court right now for $20.
Man, get your
Shout out to Sick Lid. He said, I was married at 21, divorced at 19, thousands of dollars in debt. Ex-wife married the man she was dating before she met me. Red pill forever. Shout out to Sick Lid. So, all right, let's get shout out to Judge Zilla. He said, translation, that was a waste of a wallet that a black woman could have had. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. I like that. That's pretty funny. So let's continue on this. So
I'm not even going. I was about to go even further.
Okay, so I'm in Tokyo and I have her 2 kids with me, and I tried to officially adopt her children. I couldn't do it, and they were looking for her. And
wait! You tried to adopt her 2 children?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, when she went to go prostitute it up, she just left the kids with you.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yeah, she's gone. So I couldn't speak to her kids. They spoke in Tagalog and Samar. I forgot the language they speak in Samar. And I spoke in English and Japanese. So I was sitting there teaching the kids Japanese and then sending the kids to school and trying to communicate with them during the day. Like, what do they like to eat and things like that. I could barely talk to them. And so during this time, I said I had enough. And I was still mourning the loss of my Japanese wife. And so I prepared to leave Japan. And then amazingly, a week before I leave Japan, the detectives found her. I put the kids with her. I got on the airplane. I left. And that was it. I'd had enough. So,
but you was there working. I take it your career was there. So you just like abandoned career as well?
There was a contract that with HP, and I moved over to the contract over to HP within America.
Okay.
So I continued. This is when the next section is going to happen. So I came back to America. Remember, at this point, I'm pretty messed up mentally, and I'm still not able to deal with what is going on. And I start working. So I have my own company in Japan, and I'm getting money from that still. And then I have money in the contract in the United States, and I'm making huge amounts of money. So I'm making between $15,000 and $30,000 a month. It's variable. And I'm dating American single mothers. And my view at this point is that I can again do this replacement thing, and I can get a family, get another kid, and continue on. And I'm aware that there's this. I don't say the word red pill, but I have this image, which is actually the red pill, and I don't want to take it. It's scary. I want to be the simp, basically. I don't know the word simp, but this is what I'm thinking. Like, I want to continue serving women. And so I date various single mothers in LA, Wyoming, Montana, Utah, Oregon, and Arizona.
What? Did you just have like just a single mother like target on your back? Like why it seemed like you was like, I gotta messing with a single mother in Philippines. Well, then no, actually it was still trying to do the family thing.
Yeah.
I understand it. My mom actually, my stepdad, they got together when I was like 12. He couldn't have kids, so he married a woman with kids. Mm-hmm. So I understood that he always wanted a family. I think the last woman that he was with in a long-term relationship with, she had some younger kids, and so I get that. It makes us blow a gasket in the guys in the chat room probably blowing a gasket because they're hearing you saying I'm deliberately going after single mothers. That's my type. So that's we're trying to process that one, but I understand it's coming from a place of her trying to fill a void inside of you
Yeah.
from when you lost your wife and the child during the labor. Like, so I get it.
So my view fundamentally is that, like, I'm at this point, I'm 37 years old. I have this huge income, and I'm like, why don't I use this in order to make a family? Because I think psychologically it's best for me to continue in a family environment.
Yeah.
So okay, so
single mothers, you were talking about the single mothers you were dating here in the States. So
yeah.
how was that going? I'm sure that was going wonderful.
So just so you know, people who are listening, I'm dating single mothers of all races. I did not hold back. So these are all primarily American women, but there's some who are, well, you could argue the Latinas were American, because you don't know if they're illegal or not, or they're born here or not. I never really asked about it. But I'm dating the full spectrum at this point. And I am finding various problems. Just a zillion problems in doing this. I'm looking at these women, and they're only looking about how they can use the man. I'm somewhat aware of this. Like, I'm a walking ATM, and give attention to the kids, but she's not taking responsibility. I have single mothers saying that they won't have long-term relationships with me unless her kids approve, and I'm like, you're an adult. That's not the way it works. And
that's so true. It's so true. I remember I didn't like my stepdad at first. Got a lot of respect for him now, but I didn't like him at first. Plenty of things I didn't approve of, but my mom had the wisdom and wherewithal to step back. I'm like, you just turning me over to this monster, but he actually did a good job. So, but that's very true. So yeah, women completely getting it wrong on that when they say, well, my kids have to approve. That's just ridiculous. I'm sorry to keep interrupting. The Mac Trucker in the building, he said, salute to Theo telling his simp origin story. Right on. Shout out to you, the Mac. Shout out to the Mac Trucker. One of the reasons why I want to interrupt you, because we just floated under the radar is what Pablo is saying. So black women had their shot. you were dating black women. They could have been.
Yes, I was dating black women.
Yeah, some people don't realize this. After my divorce, after I was married 11, 12, 13, however many years to a black woman, after that, I dated all different races of women. For like a 4-year period, I was single, dating all different races of women. The woman I'm with right now is a black woman, an American black woman. Come on. Just said it all right there. Right there. Right. Okay. Yeah, the woman... The woman I'm with now is an American black woman. She won. She outcompeted every other woman that was on my radar in my life and in my bed. She outcompeted. She won. So that's what Pablo makes a really good point though. So black women had their shot. So there's that. Shout out to Pablo for pointing it, because that went right over my head. But yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I'll say this, guys. People listening, after being with Japanese women for a really long time, over 12 years, now dating a black woman, gotta admit, and that booty is special. Gotta admit. Respect.
Yeah, I be acting like it's pro blackness, but really, it's that small waist and the fat.
I'll say it, but the problem is how she was treating me and her attitude. And it wasn't just her, it was other single mothers as well. But again, I'm not going to go on one side. She had her pluses and her minuses. Her minuses were much greater than her pluses. Let's just keep it like that. So what happened at this point, this is when this crap starts happening. So I get tired of dating single mothers in the United States, and I'm moving more and more towards the red pill. And I decided, heck with this. I'm going to go to Ukraine and date somebody there. And so I'm moving around the United States to various contracts, and I don't even have an apartment anymore. And I met someone in Ukraine, and I brought her to Canada, and then I brought her over the border to the United States. And so I was with her, and then I was with I was also helping a single mother in California, helping pay her rent and everything. And I was basically doing was just keeping the cash flowing going.
Took a 20-second timeout. Were you having sex with this woman that was in California?
No.
You hadn't had sex with her.
And I was giving her money.
You've never had sex with her. Okay, how does that work? Okay, well, let me first ask this question. Scale of 1 from 10. Not that it matters. I'm just curious. If you had to rate her, like was
like KS's method, right?
Well, even if you don't judge on his, he got a tough scale. He judged him.
No. I would use scale. So she was at best an adjustable 6. She had 3 kids with.
You mean like an adjustable 6, like how the chick who I didn't hear of until recently, the chick Sweetie is an adjustable 6. I think most guys would say she's about an 8.
No. On KS's level, yeah,
okay.
Beyonce is an 8, and this chick was no Beyonce.
Okay, got you. So on Kevin Samuels, tougher scale than most. She was an adjustable 6, but most guys would probably look at her and say she was in 8-ish territory. But okay,
yep. So she had
Anyways, I want to know how this conversation goes. Excuse me, sir, that I met online. Okay. Had the two of you ever met in person at the time that you were sending her money?
Yeah. In fact, I knew her online when I was still in Japan, and she was one of the first women I dated when I came back to America.
So you came back to America, and you and her did some dating, meaning you took her out to eat somewhere, or
yep. Sometimes her kids too, and she was like one of the single mothers I was dating. She was one of many.
How long was this in-person dating going on with no sex?
I don't know, 6-7 months. Yeah. I never smashed her, just so you know. We just
I know. So you were living in California at the time?
Yeah, I gave her well over $10,000.
You were giving her money like that?
Yeah.
And y'all were living in the same state during this time?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know why I was thinking it was long distance at first. So it was a whole
We're in the same county. We're in the same county.
So y'all were in the same state, same county. You giving her all that money. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. He said that in LA, it'd be women out there getting rent paid, car notes paid.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
$10,000. Yeah. Without for men that they have not had sex with. Was she, as ARC would say, you would say she was dangling the possibility of some sex over your head, just keeping you going, or was you just happy-go-lucky about it?
I was more happy-go-lucky about it. I as time went on, I knew I wasn't going to try to smash her, but it was good to keep her on as a friend, and so it was. I liked her kids. That's one thing. I liked the situation. I felt comfortable there. She had 3 kids, 2 baby daddies. Neither one of the baby daddies were paying child support, and so I was coming in there and actually paying support and doing financial things. She didn't have that much money at the time, but good conversationalist, and she made me feel good. For people who are listening in the chat, I want you guys to understand, I'm slowly moving towards hitting rock bottom, losing my wife. And so I am more and more horrified of what I'm going to find there. And I'm scared. So I'm doing it what seems to be very irrational behavior, which is true, because I'm scared of what's going to happen when I hit rock bottom. Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Tomcat in the building. Shout out to Fantastic. That was funny. But shout out to Tomcat in the building. Says big hips and a fat booty comes in all colors. Yeah, true. Submission and being real helpmate doesn't. Okay. You understand that it's variance in percentage rates when it comes to the booty, but when it comes to being submissive and a good helpmate, you say, oh, that doesn't. That's a flat line across the board, but you understand the bell curve when it comes to white women or women of other races in a small waist and a big booty. So that's where I say y'all can get ignorant with this. Everything is on a bell curve. Everything operates in percentage rates. And when it comes to being cooperative and non-combative, yes, Black women do that. I mean, when it comes to being uncooperative and combative, Black women do that at a higher percentage rate than other women. That much is true. That much is true. And there's still women of other races who operate like that as well, who are uncooperative and combative, but it's not quite as high of a percentage rate as it is with American Black women.
Yes.
So we're talking about percentages with everything. Just like, yes, the body type of small waist, wide hips, big booty, yes, that's more prevalent with Black women, but there are women of other races like that, just not at quite as high of a percentage rate. The internet could have you thinking one thing or another, but with my own eyes, what I see is not quite as high of a percentage rate. I think Black women naturally have the natural genetics, but a lot of them squander it. Put it like that. That's one area where they are getting definitely beat out in the body game by other women because they squander their natural good ratios. You see overweight Black women, but you still can see the ratios in there where it's like, damn, if she just dropped some of that weight, But anyway, everything is at percentages. Whether we're talking about behavior, personality, characteristics, femininity, submission, it's all on a bell curve at various percentage rates, and some rates do it more or do it better. Even Ike was talking about this amongst Africans. You can Nigerians are pretty, they some pretty rough and tough, rough and tumble group of people, the men and the women. Yeah. Ethiopians, not so much. That rough aggressiveness suits Nigerian men well, as far as it suits them well. Not so much with their women, but Ethiopians, not so rough and tough like that. And that suits the Ethiopian women well, because they're more soft and docile and feminine and a little more quiet at a percentage rate. So, and Ike even pointed out that, yeah, Nigerian man who's just overly masculine and a Ethiopian woman who's just overly, reserved, feminine, docile. Yeah, they tend to work out well together. So there's percentage rates even among the same skin color. Different cultures produce different things at different rates. Like, that's how it works, but it's all at different rates. Got to understand that if you're going to be talking about this. So that's a ridiculous statement. I'm sorry. You just can't say submission and being a real helpmate doesn't come in all colors. It does. Percentage rates. Shout out to Sir Ty. Sorry I had to get long-winded on that one, but I hate when we make bad arguments. I like when the other side make bad arguments, not us. Sir Tyson in the building says, salute gents and chat. Happy Friday. Theo, bruh, 10K and no smashing. Bruh, at least you learned, and props for being able to admit it, bro. Yes, he did learn. We're going to get into what he learned. We're going to get into what he learned. Well, we got a lot, because we ain't even made it to how he ended up homeless yet. So we ain't even scratched the surface of this messed up story. So we about to get to it. Snuggles in the building. He says, Bernard, I can't wait to see when you bring people up what this conversation is going to sound like. This one is definitely going to be interesting. Absolutely, 100%.
Hi, I'm Snuggles.
I didn't play the whole thing. I see you over there dancing. I ain't play the whole thing for you. Sick Lid in the building. He said, I send women money all the time online. Shout out to the women of the Black manosphere. Yeah, I guess if you super chatting the broke down women, I guess you are sending women money. I don't know why. I'm just, okay. Now that's a joke. That's a joke. I'm not gonna hate on nobody's super chats. Mr. Shane Bridges, he says, dude, if you have to go that low to get a single mom, then she needs to give it up off the bat. If she's not effing, then she is a waste of time. Yeah, very rarely will I ever apologize to Sister George, but I will apologize for implying that people shouldn't super chat them. That is a sincere apology from the bottom of my heart. I do not play that game. Yeah, if y'all support her for whatever reason, y'all support her for, by all means, continue to support her. I don't hate on people enterprising. But anyway, Only time y'all gonna hear me apologize to her for anything. All right.
So I'll continue.
Wait, I got one more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We got to get back to the story. But Wizard X in the building with the super chat. Shout out to you, and also WL Fonzo for the cause. Shout out to you. All right, let's get back into it. Go ahead.
Okay. So what prompted me to actually go to Ukraine was I actually did find WGTOW.com, and I was reading in there various men's stories that they'd had with women, and the men's stories were very similar to what my marriage was like, and I started recognizing to what degree a change was going to be necessary. This is when the manosphere really is in effect at that point, and I'm horrified of it. And I'm doing a super beta simp move at this point, but I'm being totally honest. I was like, no way, I'm not going to go down that path, and I'm going to get someone. And so that's why I go to Ukraine and bring someone over from there. I barely knew her. This wasn't very much unlike the Filipino where I knew everybody. I barely knew her, and I paid for her to come over, and actually illegally brought her over. It was pretty easy to bring her over the border. Black man with a blonde. They never asked any questions, and I just brought her right over.
Wow.
So it wasn't over. I just drove her over. I was in love with her, but you can go.
How long did it take you to fall in love with her? About 17 minutes. You seem
2 months.
Okay, you seem like you fall in love pretty fast, but okay, carry.
No, that's the simp move. That's what I was. That was very true. And so again, I had her in SoCal, and I was burning through cash, and then I was helping other single mothers as well. And this is when it starts. So I wasn't unable to make my car payments because I needed to actually send a check over. I couldn't just do a bank transfer, and they weren't accepting any bank transfers for me at all. They had to have a check. I didn't have any checks. I was going all over the country, and I actually didn't have an apartment at that time. So they came and repoed my car, and this was the first hit. I don't even know how they found it, but they did find it. Of course, there was a GPS tracker. I didn't understand GPS trackers. Again, I came back from Japan. I don't know what's going on. And so
wait, I must have missed something. I was playing around trying to get something set up here, but why wasn't your car note being paid? Because you were in another country, or
no? Because what I was doing before was I was doing bank to bank transfer for my car notes.
Okay.
And then the bank who accepted my car note payments said no more bank transfers. We won't accept that. They only accept checks. I didn't have any checks. I didn't know how to get a check to actually send. I was like, what's going on?
I guess what I'm confused is it take at least 3 to 4 months before your car get repossessed.
So I hadn't sent many payments because I was traveling all over the country and I was unaware what was going on. I thought that there was an auto draft.
Okay, got you. You thought it was automatically happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
And so by the time I figured out that I needed to actually send the check out, it was done. So this was the first hit. I lost my car and I was unable to get it back. And then I needed to pay for one single mother's rent, and I needed to pay for the Ukrainians' rent as well. And she didn't know whether or not she really wanted to be with me, or she didn't know what was going on. And so she was renting a room with somebody else. And I needed to be in another area in SoCal. I didn't have a car. At this point, I didn't have any money to pay for a hotel. I couldn't transfer back and forth. So this is when homelessness hit. This was the first time. And I was working 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, and going into the office, and I still had my company in Japan. They were unable to send any money to me because I'd run out of all the money there. And so in order to stay close to the office, I had to basically sleep in the park. And that's what I did. This was the first hit. Yep. So I was making over $15,000 a month, and I was homeless. Yeah. I know you're. This is like this.
All right. I gotta. I was okay. All right. Let me make sure I understand. They're giving you simp of the year. They're giving you simp of the year. When you said the woman wasn't, this was a Ukrainian woman.
Mhm.
You said she wasn't interested in living with you, so she was like just hoteling it up with whoever. But right at the time, you had a house, correct? You had
No, I
you-
didn't have
where-
my own apartment. So what I did was
I'm assuming you had an apartment. So
I paid for.
what happened? I guess I missed a step. What happened to where you ended up not having an apartment? Like,
So I was in September. I needed to leave SoCal and work all over the country.
okay, so
for
you
various
was country hopping. Okay,
Yeah. So I was doing contracts in Minneapolis and Cleveland and Chicago. So I was living in hotels. So
Gotcha.
I didn't need the apartment anymore. So I was going out. But while I was doing those contracts for HP in various cities, I was still paying single mothers rent in SoCal. And then when the Ukrainians started, I was starting to give her money also in Ukraine from time to time. If this sounds messed up, it's true. I mean,
by doing all of that, you ended up depleting all your funds,
right?
And because you were like hotel hopping through your job, you depleted all your money, and you weren't able to get any company money. Normally, the company, if they were paying for your hotels, what happened? Where they just wasn't they? Why did they stop paying for your lodging, so to speak?
A lot of what's going on is that I'm running on 1099s at that point. So the HP is going through a subcontractor, and they're paying me around $100 an hour. So that's all inclusive. So that I'm responsible to pay for my hotel and everything else. So that you do that tax write-off by itself. What had happened? Nate's gonna love this one. I'll say this. You could go ahead and read this. You could read that super chat. It's relevant. Go ahead.
Merciless Reese L. He says, "Where were your day ones at, so they can slap some sense into you, or were you the hard-headed one in the crew? I'd never let a friend simp themselves homeless." Right on, right on. And
okay, so basically, I don't. Most of my friends in America are women, and they're the ones for whom I'm simping. My male friends most of them are in Japan, and I'm unable to really. I'm saving face, right? So I'm not able to admit what's going on to my friends in Illinois. So because this is happening, I'm actually exposed, but I'm not aware that this is going on because one thing, I'm moving around too much. I'm not focused, and I'm still mourning over my wife being dead. So this is a continuous process. I'm not able to recognize that I'm in danger until the danger hits me. I'm just straight out honest. This is what's going on.
yeah, well, the mere fact that you couldn't tell your friends what was going on, like that's the indicator that lets you know that something is not right. Because I listen, you've out simped me. I don't have a simp story that can necessarily compete with yours. I got some bad ones, but it ain't cost me that much.
I was already humiliated.
But the fact of the matter is, hold on, but this is the point I'm trying to make. I talked to my brother about a lot of stuff. I still haven't told him some of the stuff that I've done, and I definitely wasn't going to tell him while I was doing it. So that lets you know that even when you in that state, you know it's wrong. You just in some little cloud somewhere. It's like
yeah. You're in the cloud, and you're unable to really deal with reality. And there has to be some other factor. Something else is going on. And with me, that was definitely true. And I was unable to deal with reality. I was unable to make rational decisions. So again, I'm owning up to it. I'm saying it so other people can listen. And one of the big factors is, again, I lost my wife, and I'm unwilling to take the red pill. I want to be the simp. I want to continue on with that life, and having a woman like that, I've gone all in, right? So I'll continue on with so I was unable to pay anything because I'd paid for the single mother's rent, I'd paid for her kids, I had paid for the Ukrainian woman's rent as well. She didn't necessarily want to be
What was
with
the
me.
total? What was the total monthly cost of paying for the Ukrainian woman in the California? What race was the woman from California? Just curious.
Oh, she was white girl.
She was white. Okay.
She was white Latina.
White Latina. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What was the total monthly bill for paying for both of those women?
7,000-8,000.
7,000 to 8,000. And when you're making 15,000 a month, that was 15,000 before tax. So after taxes, you're talking, probably 10,000 net that you were netting. So you probably was living off, 2,000 a month in California, which that's food, parking, and gas. In
Right.
California.
But also, this is the point. I'm not stable, and I think that I can always make more money. I think that I can just generate more money. So I'm confident, and I'm just like, well, I can just go through my entire bank account and I can spend every check whenever I get it because I'll make more money anyway. And this is not the situation that I'm unable to see it. So I was always burning cash like crazy, and now I can't do anything. Like I don't.
So we about to get back to that first night sleeping on the park bench, but shout out to Shane Vicious. He says this is some Gump level simping. Yeah, I actually like the movie Forrest Gump, but I didn't realize how hard he was simping back when I first watched it. I went back and it was bad. It was bad. He would have saved a lot by switching to tricking. He was he was in a place mentally where it wasn't about just getting the nut off. He was on a different mission. So I can't. Not justifying anything, but tricking wasn't really a thing on his mind.
Yeah, it was.
Somebody asked a question. She says, "Where was your dad? Do you have a relationship with your father?"
So before my wife died, 1 year before, both my parents died on the same day.
Yeah. So that that just added more to it. Like you were going through. So I mean, look,
I'm holding things back because this sounds pretty horrible. It's actually worse.
Yeah. We don't got to get deep into that, but I understand. I mean, look, simping, you would have been a simp. I tend to believe you would have been a simp anyway.
Yes.
But all the stuff happening, losing your wife while she was giving birth, losing her and the child, and that's why you were dating single mothers to try to fill that void. I understand what put you in that place, but to be forking out that much money for a woman you weren't having sex with, you had the simp spirit presided over you. I sound like simp with a P. the simping spirit presided over you very heavily. But so you would have been simping anyway, but the mere fact that the simp spirit presided over you and you were in a dark place mentally, that just made a storm of simpery right there, a perfect storm of simpery. But Corey Bentley in the building, he says, as a widower myself, I tricked off the first year, so I understand a bit. Hey, that's something that I don't know. Maybe somebody should look at that. What men tend to do after they, lose their wife? Do they just start? I don't know. Maybe
we're not designed for it. The women are designed to lose their husbands. Men are not designed to lose their wives.
Yeah.
And so I was totally devoted to her. I was deeply in love with her. So I was gone. I was really gone. This was a big thing. Anyway, Michael Ross.
Shout out to Michael Ross, and shout out. We have to get back into it, but shout out to Rob Sawyer. Says, I don't knock him. We all go through a phase, fellas. Learn from him and appreciate his experiences, so we won't ever go there. Simping is dead. Appreciate everybody who hit the super chat. Appreciate each and every one of you. All right, go ahead. Let's talk about that first night. That first night sleeping out on the park.
It was hard.
out in the middle of the park on a bench behind a dumpster. I don't know where you slept, but go ahead and explain. Walk us through that first night. What was it like?
I had to move, so the police are there. I never knew that the police were such enemies to homeless people. So I needed to find ways of actually hiding my body when I was sleeping, or and then it's cold. I didn't know it was that cold at night. It's in SoCal, it's warm during the day, but at night it's brutal. And so I had to figure out different places to sleep, places where people wouldn't see me, so it looked like I was moving. So I would sleep no more than an hour at a time, and I would go from one place to another. And then I would just like sleep a little bit and then wake up and go someplace else. It was horrible. I can't describe.
Were you in work clothes? Like you?
No, I actually changed my work clothes into my backpack, and then I knew this was going to happen, so I had my shorts with me. So I would wear my shorts while I was outside doing this.
Okay, because if you were in a damn suit while sleeping outside, that would have just been an amazing shot. Yeah.
So I had enough clothes so that I could. Also, I had a change of clothes in the office, so that I was always fresh when I was in the office. And I had paid 1 year, actually paid 3 years of my gym membership. So in the morning, I went there and took a fresh shower, got myself back professional, and went into the office. But the damage had been done. I was a zombie the next morning. I remember that. I was unable to communicate, and I was barely able to listen. And then I was wanting to go to sleep the entire time.
Hey, y'all gotta chill in the chat, man. I'm trying to listen to the story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to listen to him, man. Y'all clowning. But that was pursuit of happiness all day. Just you ain't have a kid with you. Other than that, yeah.
This is gonna come. So there's anyway, so this week, during the entirety of this week, all it was me being in this location, going to work, being homeless at night, and I would, like, there were Starbucks. There are people who knew me in that area, and so the Starbucks were open until 12. So I would go there at 10 o'clock, get my latte, and actually sleep. Like, they knew I would sleep all the time in there. That's a normal thing I do. So I'd go to a recliner, sleep from 10 to 12, leave, say, hey, bye, guys, and then walk around a while and try to get really tired because I had to sleep on concrete someplace or behind the big power converters. That's a good place to hide a body. So I was looking for places to hide my body while I slept. And that's kind of the next morning I'd be a zombie, but take my shower, go into Starbucks, get my latte, and then go back into the office. So I made it that first week, got paid. I made it through. Then I went back and I saw the single mother, and I saw the Ukrainian woman, saw the situation was horrible. I actually called my company up. I was getting my contract from, and I said, I'm in a bad situation. I need help. I need you guys to pay for a hotel. And you guys already have 1 week of billable time. I want you to pay for a hotel room, take it from that, and don't give me the 1099. We'll figure it out later. And they were like, I explained the situation, what was going on. They're like, you're in a bad situation, Theo. You're nuts. So the guy came over on Sunday night, put me into a hotel next to where I was working, and that's how I got out of homeless the first time.
And how long did that period of homelessness last?
That first one was 1 week. The damage was done, but it was 1 week, and I continued working from there. What happened at this point, again, little Nate's gonna love this story. So with Obamacare, one of the changes that happened with Obamacare was that if companies paid a 1099, instead of the individual being ultimately responsible for paying the taxes, the companies were responsible. So if I didn't pay my taxes on the 1099, the company would have to pay my taxes for me by the IRS. So 1099 contracts stopped, and I lost my 1099 contract that I was having, and then I couldn't get another 1099 easily. And then my contracts that I had in Japan stopped as well. So at this point, I have a double whammy of no cash flow coming in, and I have to face the music. And so I told the woman from Ukraine, I'm like, I can't support you anymore. This isn't. There's nothing else I can do. This isn't going to work. And she's like, okay. So then I paid for her ticket to go back to Ukraine. And then the single mother, I said to her, I said, you're gonna have to figure this out, because I'm going to hit rock bottom. And so she accepted it, but she just went, what I saw, this is again, good lesson for me, was I just saw her talking to other guys to get money from them. And I was like, I didn't understand that. And so
you thought you were the only thing she had to depend on, but then when you stopped, she just kept on getting up. Didn't nothing stop with her. She had somebody else to do it.
Right.
You know what? And something similar happened to me. I think I touched on this. A chick was she tried to get me. She had just moved. Well, yeah, I have told this story. I think I left out this aspect of it when she had just moved back to Michigan from Atlanta, and it was all kind of. I did some. I ain't about to rehash my story. This ain't about me today. But one thing that she did try to do, once she got her place together, because she was hoteling it up for a little bit. But once she got her place together, then she needed some furniture, and she had already suckered me into, helping her out on the hotel and some stuff. But she tried to get me to get the furniture for her house. I told her no. You see, it didn't take me 6 months it didn't take me 6 months to like you, but I was like, no, we're not doing that. And but me and her, we still ended up continuing talking. And then 2-3 days later, I ended up at her house and I was like, wow, fully furnished. Amazing. That's when it clicked on me, like, oh, damn. Apparently I'm not all she got. It's like, but when you're simping, your mind is gone. You in a whole you in the twilight zone. You in the twilight zone. But all right, go ahead. Well, shout out to Pablo. He says the Book of Theo. Appreciate you, Pablo. And shout out to CJ NBM. Says, real talk, fellas, if you ever fall on hard times, get a Planet Fitness membership. They're open 24 hours and have showers. I hope it never gets there. Right on. Absolutely. No, that's true. That's true. You can go ahead and shower up in there. $10 a month, you got a shower. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the stream. I think I missed some super chats. I didn't mean to do that. Wizard X in here with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you for the $2. Appreciate everybody support the stream, big or small. I'm trying to locate. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's go, man. I got $2 for you, man. I know I'm a little short, but you come.
Shout out to Wizard X. He says, did you get your suit dry cleaned and how?
Well, I mean, I'm not like sweating in my suit. When I'm wearing the suit, I'm pretty clean. And so I had enough shirts and undies to take care of me. I made sure I had that. And so the dirty stuff I would just stow away. It's easy to find a place where nobody's looking. So I would just put it over there. So I kept myself clean. I just wore the same suit. That's all. I mean, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah. I figured that part was solvable. Talk to us about how, when you had to report back to report back to your owners, the women, when you had to report. I choked him on that one. I made his coffee come out his nose on that one. You had to report back to your owners. When you told them, yeah, sorry, I can't continue to pay your monthly bills because I'm homeless and broke. Like, did they have any type of reaction? Like, or was it just like what was their reaction?
The Ukrainian was like, you're a broke loser. So I had to take that.
You went right from financing her life, her and her kids' life, to instantly loser immediately. Like that. It wasn't no
the American single mother.
Okay.
The American single mother was like, oh, okay, like that. Nothing more.
So
yeah,
that's what I was trying to get at. That they were just completely cold about it. Completely cold about it. Because it seems like if they had any type of common sense, that they would think that, okay, this man can afford to live somewhere else and pay for me to live here. And I'm quite sure they were crafty enough to try to figure out exactly how much you make. They probably could figure out, okay, he make $15,000 a month.
I told them. They knew.
So they knew exactly how much you made. So it seems like they would have been, if they had a place where they were staying at, it seemed like they would want to keep the bag. Like, just come on, move in with me. But like, they couldn't even be bothered to even think like that. Like, hey, how about I move him in, and they could have scammed more of that money by actually being with you for real. Oh man.
Yeah,
right.
but that was the point. That's what I was trying to do, was have them like go to that level so that I could have the stable family life. See, this is
in your mind, did you think that you were eventually just like buying your way in? Like, you felt like if I do this long enough, eventually she's going to realize
how
wonderful I am, and then we just want to go right off into the sunset and be together.
Yes, that was exactly right.
Oh my.
This is, again, we're gonna keep on going with this.
Right.
I need more. What, free bands gang? I'm gonna respond to you real quick. Yeah, I was a sucker. This is why I'm talking about this. This is why I'm saying this online, so other people won't go through this. Right? This is what we do in the manosphere. This is the purpose of the manosphere, is to discuss these kind of horrible stories so we understand why we don't do this. All right. So, I lost the contracts. I was in the hotel. My dogs were with me at this point. New contracts were not coming in. I had paid money to have the Ukrainian go back, and I was still sinking. Now, the next level of homelessness that I go through is much more brutal. It's 1 month, and I have my dogs with me, and
actual dogs, like roof dogs.
Yeah, like Cutie. She's over there right now. She's my Dachshund. She was with me at that time, and another dog with me. And so at this point, I have to figure out a way, if I do have work, to keep them hidden while I'm working. And then I have to, like, there were like coyotes going around eating dogs, and then there was a murderer going around killing homeless people. So if I was sleeping with them, I'd have to kind of do it in shifts, so that I had to see who's going to try to eat the dogs, or if someone's going to try to kill me. And this was much more. This was a super level of brutality. All of my personal possessions were in storage at this point, and the situation was very precarious. I didn't have telephone access, so I had to figure out a way to get a job and getting some sort of money and continuing on. This is like, or else I'm going to lose my job being a homeless shelter, and that's it. Like, I'm going to
wait. Okay, so let's make sure we understand it. When you say the contract stopped, meaning that essentially means you didn't have a job. In other words,
so I didn't have
your job was based off contract to contract to contract, and then for whatever reason with the company, the contracts came to an end. So
because of Obamacare. Because Obamacare changes. So the HR departments were unable to, were squeamish about giving 1099s because they didn't know whether or not to pay the taxes. So they stopped giving 1099s, and then they only gave W-2s. And I said, well, I was just too proud to take a W-2. I only wanted the 1099s so I can do what I wanted with the money. And those were very bad decisions on my part. And so then the W-2 stopped coming in as well. So I had no cash flow. And then my company in Japan also lost its main contract. So I didn't have any money possibly coming from Japan. So I was in a very, very bad situation, but I didn't recognize it because, again, I'm mourning over losing my Japanese wife. Mm-hmm. This is continuous. This is continuing going. I'm unable to face reality. So this second hit of homelessness, which is about 1 month, this is where things get somewhat real for me. And I have to concentrate very greatly in IT security on how to send resumes out, how to move, how to network myself. And I recognize the failure that I have is not only a failure with understanding my cash flow and understanding my situation, but it's also my decisions. I'm making horrible decisions, and I don't have a proper network. And I like the situation. I'm like, how did this happen? Like, I've gone from rags to riches. This is a very bad situation. And I don't know if I'm gonna lose my dogs.
You didn't go from rags to riches. You went from riches to rags. Just
sorry, rags. Sorry.
Went from riches to rags. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened at this point was
went from sugar to shit real fast.
yeah. Well, it went from me giving sugar away. That's what I was doing. I was always giving sugar away. So there's this point, there's nobody, nothing. There's no one to whom for me to give because I don't have any money to give.
Yeah.
So I finally got a contract, and the company flew me to Chicago. I stayed in a slum in Chicago in a very bad area, but I went to work. And this is when I started doing a little bit of therapy.
That's
and
good.
Getting someone talking to me about it. And one of the things that the therapist said to me, which really changed me, was the therapist said, describe to me what your wife gave to you. And then said, these single mothers, what are they giving to you? And I couldn't describe it. I said, well, I'm only concentrating on what I give to the woman. That's what I do. I give to the woman. I give to the woman. And she said, stop. What are these women giving to you? And I said, I wrote it. I sat there for a while and I was like, nothing. They're not.
Was that a female therapist?
Yes.
Okay. It
was a female therapist. I wouldn't have listened to him. Again, I'm beta pill.
I'm shocked it was a female therapist.
I only trust women at this point. I'm very liberal. I mean, I'm a super simp. I mean, I think men have bad ideas. Women are the only way to go. So the woman therapist gets me to understand that all of the women that I have, including my mother, have given me nothing, and I'm the one giving. And what's happening is that my mother was a narcissist, and I had been trying to give to my mother in order to fix her, but she was a narcissist. I was the empath. And so she was just taking from me and manipulating. And I thought that if I had another woman that I can give to her and fix her too, because I was trying to fix my mother, but that wasn't the case. And the therapist got me to understand that if the women didn't exist, I would have the same emotional level, but I would have a lot of money. And that's when I woke up, and she was like, why are you spending this money? There's no reason for you to do this. And I sat back, and that was like, oh, whoa. Like, whoa. And this was like, this was almost too like hard for me to take. This was very, very hard, very, very dangerous. Like this was like a horrible idea for me. And so what happened, I'm going to go a little further because I know we've got to get call-ins and things like this.
Well, we can wait. This is a good story, man. So I don't care however long it take. Okay. Because I think you were, if I understand it right, you still ended up being homeless another time.
Yeah.
After this, so we gonna take our time with it. Hold on, real quick. Shout out to Before the Billions. Appreciate the super chat. Shout out to Akil Intellectual. He says, please let's stop referring to those hustling 304s as your friends. They were never your friends. Change the verbiage. Yeah. I mean the verbiage. Yeah. Shout out to you. Before the Billions in here says salute to you, Bernard. Salute to you. Shout out to Snuggles. He said everything he did is what black people allow the other cultures of people and blame everyone else for taking advantage of what blacks allowed. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Ride of God podcast in the building says working can't watch, but to all the AMC apes, the brother, the Mask Investor channel got straight up. His channel got snatched. They're asking that you retweet him and use hashtag free TMI. Yeah, I will be sharing. We'll be sharing that. Yeah, all day. That's messed up. Shout out to, hold on, we got to go back up. Sorry if I'm missing super chats. Wizard X back in here. He says, make this into a film, cast Idris Elba as Theo. No, it wouldn't work because Idris Elba, they'll give Idris Elba some pussy while he broke. But so I don't know if that would work. You gotta cast Anthony Anderson. What's the homeboy from Blackish? Got to cast Tracy Morgan. Young man, I want you to explain to everybody everything that you know you did wrong, so they can understand that you are teaching people that you aren't teaching people like yourself. Yeah, we're going to get into that because he's going to talk about the changes. We're going to talk about the changes he made and everything. So, but yeah, let's go.
Okay.
All right, where were you? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so what happened was that my professor from university was somewhat aware of what was going on with me on Facebook, and he'd been my good friend for years, and he was like, go to grad school. I'm the head of the department. Come over here. Go to grad school. And I knew what this was basically so that I can go someplace and do an ultimate crash. So I went ahead and went to grad school. And this is where the super crash happened. I was in a safe environment. I knew what was going on, and I could actually accept that my wife was dead. And so when horrible things are still going on at this point. So while I'm going to class, I don't have my ID with me because I didn't have to actually register. I could just go to class, and the police picked me up and said that it's irrational that you're a black man studying Russian. This is not going to happen. That's what I was in. I was in grad school for Russian, and they put me in a jail. And they said I was trespassing on university, and I had to have the dean come in and say, not only am I a student, but I'm actually I graduated from there, and this is illegal. Like the university was going to sue the police department to get me out. And so I actually got out of jail. And I remember when I was, they were going through my stuff. They're like, oh, you have a lot of Russian Ukrainian books. Oh, like you don't have anything else? Like, nope, that's it. I have Russian Ukrainian books. And so I got out of that, and then I had people doing other stuff to me. But I finally did hit rock bottom, and it was an epic emotional crisis for me. And right after that, I got cancer, and I I knew that I had cancer already. My mom had died of it, but I was in denial over me having cancer, and this is when it was hitting stage 2. And I actually got diagnosis on this, so I needed to have chemotherapy. And again, I don't have much money, but I am working remote, but I don't have much. The situation is very precarious, so I'm getting my chemo. And while I'm in chemo, I'm actually in therapy as well. And one of the exercises I do while I'm in chemotherapy is I needed to write out the 10 best days of my life and the 10 worst days of my life. So I wrote them out, got it out. And the therapist said, what is the difference between both of these days? The 10 worst days of the 10 best days of my life, I was alone trying to improve my life so that hopefully I can get a woman. And the 10 worst days of my life, there was a woman front and center. And what the therapist said to me was, in these 10 best days of your life, instead of thinking about doing it for a woman, why don't you do it for yourself? That's when the light came on. And I had taken, at this point, this is when I was listening to Karen. I don't know the name of the video. I wish I can get it, but I just posted it. But it's about the disposable man. And
Karen, is that Karen Strong?
Karen Strong, yeah.
The female men's rights activist. So even you're becoming more red pill and more aware, and you're starting to have an awakening, but you still need to hear it from a woman. So you went to Karen.
Still need to hear it from a woman.
Gotta say that hashtag Zero was right. They gotta say it with titties. That's it.
Because I'm so gynocentric. I mean, this is entirely me. So she lays it out, and the light hits on my head, and then I was like, what happened? What is going on? Like, this is what. And the thing that they really, what the therapist does is she says, look at your life, like what's your happiest time? And my happiest time in my life was when I was in Paris studying at the Sorbonne. And when I was at the Sorbonne, I was barely dating anybody. It was just me, my studies, and my hope and dreams in the future. And I didn't need a woman. I was just independent and doing everything I wanted to do by myself. And I was happy and I had my mission in life. And she's like, go do that. You know, that's how it should be. And this was aligning with red pill principles at the time. And I said, I couldn't be disposable. And the one thing that got to me was like that last scene in Blade Runner where the replicant, and you had to think about your memories, like who cherishes your memories. And I said, I cherish my memories. I cherish who I am and what's valuable to me. And nobody else does. And none of these single mothers helped me when I was hit rock bottom, even though they knew that what was going on. Most I got was like thoughts and prayers. And I said, this is it. Like, no more women in my life. Get rid of everyone. No single mothers. I work for myself. I improve myself. And I'm going to go through and try to figure out where this liberal thought is going on inside my head, where I have to give everything gynocentric. What is this? How did this get here? What is going on? And this is when I got liberated from the matrix, and I go through my red pill rage phase has lasted for 3 years, and I start listening to Sandman. And this step by step, every day, take my red pill, and I'm working through this. I'm like, what have I done? What have I? Why is this going on with me? And this is when my money started returning, and I started going to becoming successful.
Wow.
No more simping from that on.
I guess. Wait, hold on. Let me back up some. I do want to back up to the part where you were working and you said you had. Okay, you were homeless, I believe, the second time, because you were homeless a total of 3 times, correct?
Oh, I didn't say the third time that I was homeless. So I was homeless.
Yeah. I'm like,
you
skipped a whole flight of stairs. Okay, yeah,
so,
you gotta.
I was in one place. I had paid the rent, and then they didn't want me to be there anymore. I didn't have any money at that time, and I didn't have any place to put my things. And I wasn't able to get anybody to shack up with anybody for a weekend or something like that. I didn't have any real friends. And so for like 1 week while I was going to school, I was also homeless. And fortunately, I was able to get someone to allow me to be in there, like just be in a room. That's it. So I got to be in a room and put my dogs there during the day while I was at class. And then I was working remote. I was starting to work remote at that time, but the checks hadn't come in yet. And the third one it was bad, but it wasn't nearly as bad because I was about to hit rock bottom with the whole wife thing. So that was like the major emotional thing that was going on in my life.
Well, the month long one was the one where you had the dogs, and he said it was freaking coyotes eating dogs, and okay.
That one set me back by itself. Set me back like 5 years. It required that homelessness section for 1 month. That required specific therapy for me.
Yeah, so that was the one where you went to therapy and you started getting yourself right. But in the process of getting yourself right, that's when you ended up homeless for that other week while going to school. Where did the cancer play into all of that? Like during what part of that timeline did you have the cancer? Was that after that?
So after I had been homeless for the third time. So actually what happened was, before I went to Ukraine, I had been diagnosed with cancer, but I was in denial. I thought that my oncologist was whack. It's impossible. I don't have cancer. So I just said, this is not going to happen. So I was in 2011, I was homeless 3 times. And then 2012, while I was registering for classes, something was wrong. I was weird heart palpitations, high blood pressure. I never have high blood pressure at all. And I went in there and I got I saw the situation was over 160. It was like 160 over, I don't know, it was like 160 over 120, something like that, some horrible number. And that's when they said, oh yeah, you're going to stage 2 cancer. You have a tumor and you have prostate cancer. Yeah.
How did that play out? What you just went through? Did you have to?
Well,
like, what was the treatment? How long did it last? How long did you have the cancer? How much did it set you back from working? The whole works. I
had to stop going to school.
Okay.
Much like what Kevin Samuels said, I had to stop going to school, but I was still associated with the university. And what can I say? So I did 2 months of chemotherapy, and then I decided this was crap. And I was reading Solzhenitsyn about how he cured himself of cancer, what his treatments were. Because I was a Russian major. Solzhenitsyn was my focus. So I was looking at what he did, and so I decided to take a alkaline based approach where I moved my body into an alkaline mode, and I removed everything that was acidic. So I went basically vegan for 2 months, and I did no chemo and drank a lot of water. And then the therapist was working on me, and she's like, one of the reasons why you have this cancer is mental. You're killing yourself mentally. You're wanting to die, which was true. So she was getting me to be stable. And then when the alkaline thing happened, my body went into remission. The cancer was gone. It only took me 60 days. And
so it wasn't even no exact treatment.
No,
so you got cancer, and then you alphaed your way through it, basically.
Yeah. After 2 months of chemo is horrible. But it was actually while I was in chemo that I was able to address the worst situations. I was able to address child abuse. I was able to address like being abandoned, what I had done to try to get attention, validation. And I had buried a lot of these emotions deep inside myself. And I was like, no, this is coming out. We're going to deal with this one after another. Every single pain point we're going to deal with. Because it was that the emotional experiences I had gone through were much easier than chemo. Chemo was horrible. When I had chemotherapy, I had to walk myself home. Nobody was there. I would lie to the doctors and say, oh, my family is waiting for me in the park. And so I would go home and I would be puking, and I'm not going to describe it totally, but it was a very bad experience. I had to clean everything up. It was sick.
So okay, so you beat cancer, and you beat the simping spirit that was presiding over you, and so ultimately it's okay. So tell me, how did you move forward after you got the cancer beat out and you realized everything that you have been doing wrong in your life?
So the first thing was
go ahead.
The first thing I put the rules in: no women. Stop. There's something wrong with
That's
women.
what I was getting at. I wanted to know, did you go cold turkey MGTOW monk for a while?
No, I went MGTOW monk for a long time.
All right, how long?
Like 8 years, 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, even when you was dealing with women, you wouldn't getting a whole lot of ass anyway. So I mean,
but what was I losing? That was the point. What was I losing?
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah.
There was no benefit for me, so I wasn't losing anything. What I did is I focused on my cash flow, and I said, I can always get good cash flow, so let's work on that. Let's make sure I get my cash flow back up. But in terms of women, something's wrong. Like, I'm doing everything wrong with women. So like, until I figure that out, that's a no-go zone. But money, go back. So I figured out.
You went 9 years completely focused, working, just trying to get that money up. Yep. Explain real briefly exactly, because I know some people don't know exactly what you do, because this is when you start getting into the territory. As people who watch the show and saw Theo on my show before, he came on here stunting and flossing, telling us how he makes, $50,000 a month now, but he used to make $15,000 a month, even though women were getting him for about 8,000 of it, and that's how he ended up homeless. But probably came out to 11,000 after taxes. They was leaving him with about $2,000. In California, that's nothing. That's food, gas, parking, and and his Planet Fitness membership to shower. so pretty much. So
what happened? I'll explain this one. So what I did was I looked at the market and I said, with application security, I'm an IT cloud security architect, but with application security, there's always a place for work. So I need to focus on that and make sure I'm really good, and then make sure I could do remote work, which is what I did. So I said, at this point, don't work.
Let it go, game changer. Let it go. That's an old art. That's from like 6 months ago.
I'm changed at this point.
Game changer, still getting in cheap shots on that one, huh?
at this point, what I determined, I state is that I can always work 2 jobs, and I cannot trust having one. It has to be a military doctrine. 2 jobs is 1, 3 jobs is 2, 1 job is 0. And I have to always think that way. And I have to always have insurance. And what saved me during chemo was that I actually had health insurance. And I said, it wasn't women, it wasn't anybody coming to my aid. It was cash flow and insurance that got me out. So, okay, let's apply this. So I started working 2 remote jobs, and my cash flow started coming in. I started paying more. I was paying for medical bills, and then I was doing more therapy, and decided to leave grad school. And then my first 2013, I made it over $120,000 a year. 2014, I made over $200,000. And at this point, again, no women, 0. 2015, I made it to 275,000. 2016, I was at 275. 2017, I was at 300. And again, during this time, heavy doses of red pill, very much studying this, looking at it, and being aware of where I had simped, but added, go through every step. What was my decision-making process? Why did I make those decisions? What was the thought process? And again, a lot of Sandman going in my head, talking about how women do this. Like, well, I was indoctrinated. Remove the indoctrination. Then what was it? 2018, I hit 375. 2019, I hit 345,000. And then with last year, when the pandemic happened, from July 2020 until July this year, 2021, I grossed over $630,000. So that was over $50,000 a month. I made a lot of strategic decisions about how to do that. Investment, a lot of training to put myself into certain positions for cloud architecture and for application security.
Okay, so that was last year, if I heard it right. That was last year you made $50,000 a month, correct?
I started making $50,000 a month in July 2020.
Okay, so cool. Yeah, we got not a calendar year, but a year within. Yeah, okay, got you. All right, so at any point, because we don't know if you fully recovered until we know if you have you started back dealing with women?
I talk with them, but it's cautious. I mean, it's very much like cost benefit analysis. So if like a 4-hour date with someone, I think, well, I can make $1,200 during that 4-hour date. So why should I even talk to you? And that's usually where it starts. So she has to give me a sufficient reason to give up $1,200. Or I could be in my gym. I saw pictures of my gym. I spent over $60,000 on my gym in my garage. I can be in there doing squats and lift and benching, doing my own weightlifting. Why should I talk to her? And this is that kind of thinking was what I trained myself to do from 2013 all the way to 2019. Was just be very, every time that I even think about talking with a woman, say, what else could you be doing? Like, let's be real. What is the real benefit of her? What is she going to bring to you? Situation I see, she's going to bring 0. Okay, well, I could be in a training course and learn another skill with AWS or like IT cloud or IT cloud security, and then I can make an extra $150,000 a year. Or I could listen to her talk about who knows what. Get rid of that. Okay, let's get that money. And these
women that you're talking with, I take it because you live in the States right now, correct or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So are these American women, or are these like these are local women that you're talking about that you've had some various all over?
Various different races. This isn't one group. From this point on, this is what MGTOW Monk is going real hardcore on this one, and saying like, why? Like, why?
I thought you mentioned before that you still will, do some traveling stuff. Like, do you?
Yes. So I did go to Ukraine again. I know several women in Ukraine. So we are talking. And then I know some women in Japan that I'm talking to as well. But there's no money being given. It's conversation. I did meet with some of them in January. But it's conversation. It's talk. It's how is the situation? There's 2 that really want to marry me. And so I'm thinking about it, but it's a slow process. It's like, okay, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's going to work. Okay. Well, I'm in no rush.
I want to say they it's almost, they see that you're smarter now and they just can't get a quick turnover bag from you. So now they're trying to say, I see with him, I got to try to get the long-term bag. That could be probably more than likely that game that's being played right there.
It's well, this time I'm maintaining frame. I've got Rolo, so I'm maintaining frame with them, and I'm basically like, you have to be in my program. This is the only way that I'll have you in my life is if you're going to have children. So if you're not even considering it, or if you want to have a job or something like that, you're gone. I said, I'm not even going to talk to you. The same way that I do with American women locally. If they start talking about their career or something like that, I'm like, I'm out. So I don't even care. Like, I've got more than enough money. No, done. I just walk out. And so I do have dates from time to time. I have dates locally, but I sit there and I just listen. Most of it, they don't know I'm red pill. I sit there and listen to them, and I'm like, yep, yeah, you're not worth it. I could have been making $400 an hour instead of talking to you. And I'm out. And this is usually how it ends.
Yeah. Have you completely gotten over that, that itch of, what led you down the dark path is like we said earlier, losing your wife while she was, childbirth and all of that. And that was what got you down that path of dealing with, single mothers you're trying to replace what you lost and everything. Have that part truly been gotten over? Like, are these other women you're talking to, are they single mothers? I'm trying to see if you're still doing the same shit.
Okay, so first from 2012 on, the rule was no single mothers, and that's exactly what I've enforced. If she's a single mother, I stop all communication, even if she's a friend, and that's it. I only talk to single mothers if they're my church, and it's cordial. That's it. They're not going to know anything more about me. So she can't have any children, and she must want children. But in 2018, I finally got through every single aspect of losing my wife and accepting the whole kabang with me trying to fix my mom. The entire backstory, everything, all the crap was fixed. I remember January 2019, I was here in Austin, just walking outside, and I'm like, boy, this is different. I kind of have a normal life. Like, this is how normal people are. I was making over $30,000 a month. I was like, okay, so I've got a lot of cash flow coming in, but wow, I don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. It's really working. Okay, yeah, there's no desire. There's women who try to have me simp for them, and I sit there and laugh at them. I'm like, nah, man.
What are they? I was just going to ask. It seems like you're not even letting a woman in close enough to even try to, like, okay, the women that you said that you were, I don't know, I forgot how you worded it, doing field research on, or just talking to, as you say, those women, they would, what would they try to do? Like, what's an offer that they've put on the table, so to speak?
They want something from me, or, can you pay my rent? Or, I'm having a hard time. Like, I didn't get my salary this month. So
they just leave right the money. How do you know you got money like that? You still telling them how much money you make?
Well, they see the images, then they can tell what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't.
Like when they find out, when they get you, they look you up online and they can kind of tell what's up.
Well, I send photos. If I start sending photos of my environment, you're gonna tell I have money. Yeah. So, but they would think, again, with Ukraine, they would just think I have money because I'm American. So that's I'm not gonna
Oh
stop.
yeah, that's a factor too. I forgot you're talking to women
Yeah.
in another country. That's why they automatically.
The women who are with me or who know me in Austin, they it's not hard to tell that I've got cash. You know, it's you can't hide it entirely. So yeah, they would try. The friend of a friend, they would find out, and they would they'd try to have me simp for them, and I would just like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to simp for you. I'm not going to do anything. But the way this happened, it's want people here to understand. This took years of reinforcement. This took years of me listening in the manosphere, of me hearing different situations and then how you deal with that situation. And it's always, do not give her money. Do not listen to her. Look at what you can have, your own value. You can do by far more by yourself than having her around. She's not bringing you any value. What is, like, if she doesn't exist, or if she does exist, what is she bringing to the table to you? Those kinds of things compared to what I already have. And I already knew that what I had was by far more valuable. So why should I be transferring it over to her? Where is it going to go? So again, I do a lot of IT security training. I was a student, and my training courses were like $7,000 a piece, $6,000 or $7,000 a piece. I did this SANS and SANS.org, so it's the top level training in the United States. If I had taken that time and that money and given it to a woman, where would it be? Well, nothing. She would just, go off and do her thing. But when I take that SANS courses, then I'm more confident in my job and that next interview, and I can get even more money. It pays for itself. So do that, focus on myself, focus on my own happiness. What's the woman doing? What is she giving? And this is where, again, it really broke down and said, if I can't answer this, if I can't answer this definitively, but I can do it with the job, I'm not going to deal with her. Just walk away.
All right. Shout out to Day Trade Page says, I thought he was going to tell us a horror story. This is clearly a self-inflicted wound. Maybe you don't hang around here that much, or maybe you don't listen to the manosphere that much, but most of what we talk about are things that, yes, there are things you can do to prevent it. That's the purpose of these conversations. Well, one of the purposes, a lot of different purposes, but yeah, you can't end up like that unless you make a bunch of bad decisions. You can't end up homeless from simping unless you have to volunteer to that. So the title did not say I'm a victim of simping if simping is something that you do. Like, that's a contradiction. So I don't know exactly how you would think that a woman did something to him. Like, no, he understands that he did it to himself. That's what we talk about here. The things, most of the stuff we talk about is stuff that men do to themselves, decisions men make, taking bad choices. We got either bad information in our head, a lack of understanding of certain things, or we do things that we were sort of trained, taught, and conditioned to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he had a very so yeah, you can go ahead. You can respond to that if you wish.
No, I had to go through and look at all of the conditioning, which was a very long process, which was within liberalism. What had I been taught, which is all this, give to women, give everything, focus on women, women's happiness, blah, 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 blah. Nothing on myself. And so when I recognized what was going on, I had to rebuild. I actually had to create a life for myself because everything was woman focused. Now this was focused on myself. Even though he chose a simple life, that's, again, Logan, JJ, that's a whole part of the manosphere. A lot of these guys who have these horror stories chose that life, and some of it is indoctrination. It doesn't matter. We take responsibility for it. We say, look, this is a simp environment. I chose that simp life. I identify what these simp steps are. Maybe there's more simp steps I haven't identified. I'm going to keep on working to identify them, and it's over. I'm done. I'm going to replace it with steps that are good for me. And the steps how I had my model, again, was in Paris. I was that 1 year in Paris, and I did everything for myself without doing anything for women. And my therapist said, that's how you're supposed to live. And I'm like, okay. My parents weren't there. There was no other women around. I just had my only influence was me, and I was just happy by myself. That's exactly the way it was supposed to be, and that's how it's been ever since.
And I want to make it very clear, when I made that statement about accountability, yes, I was talking about men taking accountability for their actions, their choices and decisions, but in no way, shape, or form was I saying that the women didn't do nothing wrong. No, they're horrible human beings, and no man should deal with them. Other than shout out to Ramil, if you that guy who can get them to what do you say, recreation. If you can use a woman like that just as a recreation tool, then by all means go ahead. But that type of woman that would do this type of stuff that was going on with her and Theo, or those women in Theo, then no, they the scum. But the accountability aspect of it is don't deal with those type of women and don't do this type of stuff that Theo was doing. That's the accountability aspect of it. But they still horrible pieces of crap. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They're scum of the earth to me. I'm not that guy who say, hey, the woman ain't do nothing wrong. No. Yes, she did. She absolutely positively did all kinds of stuff wrong. At the same time, I'm not. Men don't make good damsels in distress. So this wasn't about talking. This wasn't about trying to say that he's a victim. Now, somebody did point out that no, a lot of us was raised to think like this, and we've talked about that, and we've covered that. I've talked about how my mom, she didn't want me to be like my dad, so she raised me in a way where she overcorrected, so to speak. She did an overcorrection that had me just on some over the top, extreme simping type of stuff. So yes, they do raise simps. We are taught, raised, brought up, and conditioned to operate that way a lot of the times. But at the same time, regardless of how we were raised, it's our responsibility to wake up and realize what's going on, take accountability, and make the correct decisions and the correct actions going forward. So that's always the message and the takeaway in any of these conversations.
Let me say a real comment real quick. Do Edwin real quick.
Oh, shout out to Edwin Walker in the building with the $50 super chat. Thank you for sharing your journey with us, Theo. Appreciate you, Edwin Walker. Appreciate you, Edwin Walker. Salute and shout out to you.
$50. So that makes you rich?
It's a start.
Damn.
Appreciate you, Edwin Walker. Shout out to you. Sir Tyson in the building. He says, now here comes a panel of all the game peddlers, YouTube pimps, and such offering their perfect solution. You need to eat. See, yeah, somebody gonna come up and tell you wouldn't eat an ass properly, and that's why the women wouldn't getting on your program.
Yeah. I want to say this one point. This is, it's hard to say, but I'll say it's for the benefit of the people there. Coach Greg Adams talks a lot about the son husband and how single mothers manipulate their sons to be the husband role. This is exactly what I had when I was growing up. So if my mother was angry with my dad at all, she would manipulate me. And then if I tried to back away, she would physically punish me. And it wasn't just a small punishment. It was rather brutal. And she would wait for him to be gone. And that's when the real punishment would happen.
Let it go, game changer. Game changer, don't let nothing go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was something that I had to deal with, that there was real physical abuse that I had internalized for most of my childhood. And again, the therapist was like, you've got to recognize it and deal with it. You had a pretty bad mom, and okay, I understand. I got it.
Son is Hot Rod in the building with the $10 super chat, and it's the $10 super chat clip is fitting right now.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything.
Because I'm going to ask you about some Hold on. Well, let me get through this. That just prefaces the next question. But Son is Hot Rod in the building. He said a lot of you in the chat room are laughing and clowning this brother, but I bet most of you are closet simps or worse. So cut the guy some slack. He's learned from it. That's the most important thing. Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with it. He was a simp, and he was going through some emotional trauma that was understandable. And he got the simping part right. You know, he found, you know, the red pill space, the manosphere. He got some therapy to get some actual clinical, you know, help. And he got on his purpose and on his grind, and went and he in the last 12 months he made $50,000 a month in the last 12 months. That's $600,000 a year, if you not doing the math on that. So clearly he's figured things out. The only thing he hasn't done, I don't think he's officially re-entered that world of truly dealing with women. So are you still 100% MGTOW monk through and through, hands down? You ain't even, that's why I played the what you get for $10 clip. You ain't just you know, bought a little piece of action here and there, nothing, just went traveling and got a little something, you know, you ain't done nothing. Just that's easy, yes.
It's let's say this. Kevin Samuel, I would say no, I have not really entered back. Kevin Samuels is the one who's actually moving me a little closer to doing that. So is Fresh and Fit. So they're talking about it, like, you know, they talked to I'm in chat rooms with them, and they're like, don't go like so monk mode, like actually go and talk and have dates. The thing is, like, I do have dates, and I'm like, like you're a Zippo, and it's because that, again, red pill is very well instilled, and so I'm thinking what was optimal for my life. Something I tell people, I say, just because I change doesn't mean that there's a market of good women out there. The market is still crap, and what you have to do is recognize it for what it is and think of what alternatives are. Either I leave the country, which my passport is ready, you know, the airport's right over there. I can go and travel for a while and meet other women, or I can keep on working. It's one or the other, but I don't compromise regarding female nature, and I recognize it for what it is and deal with it. There's no purple pill for me. It's red pill, brilliant red pill. And if you guys have seen me in other chats or see me online, my comments are particularly savage. And it's because I know what I went through, and I have self-respect for myself. And I'm like, I will never allow that to happen to myself again. And I will refuse to have that happen to my brothers. Ain't going to happen. So I just draw the line and say, I know what you're doing, woman. You want this guy to simp for you. Ain't going to happen. I'm going after you. And that's it. It's like warfare. You guys have ever seen me be a savage online? It's pretty brutal. And I'm like, yep, you deserve it, because I'm done with what you've done to men. It's just, not going to happen anymore.
Right on. You mentioned Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit. Those two different people, so to speak. They give almost, I would say, conflicting, different types of advice. Kevin Samuels is more in the lane of, you know, long-term relationships and marriage and all of that, where Fresh and Fit, they're talking about plate spinning and messing with a lot of different women. So when you name those two, how are you, like, did you said it almost like you spoke to them directly, or you just looking at their content, or you spoke to all of them directly?
Yeah. I spend $1,500 a month on the manosphere, so I get access. I get to talk to people, and like I know Myron's phone number. We've talked on the phone, so it's because basically like this. If I go out in the dating field, it's only spinning plates. First off, then if there's a plate which is actually worthy of my time and more investment, then make her into the main. Until that happens, it's only spin plates. There's no money transfer. There's no listening, her listening to her emotional crap or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's pure spin plate. The way it is.
Right on. Wizard X in the building says, no matter how successful you are, demons will follow you. Many of us learned that the hard way. Salute to you, Theo. You conquered your demons. Right on.
I have lunch with my demons. I kind of make some lunch for them, keto, some steak and some vegetables. We have a good conversation.
Question for Theo: did you ever go through red pill rage?
Yes, I went through red pill rage from 2013 and 2015. Sandman got me out of it, and then I went borderline black pill, and that's where I went through the metaphorical cave. I went through with the cave. If you go inside, you're scared of the cave, but it's actually inside the cave that you find yourself. And I went into the cave 3 times and found myself. And
I guess I don't understand what is the cave, because you mentioned Sandman. It looked like you listened to a lot of the white manosphere people.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Rolo a lot. I don't really mess with none of them. I mean, I know about them, I hear of them, but I don't really listen to their stuff. So that sounds like a concept that I don't know about. What is the cave? Is that like a black pill?
The actual, and someone in the chat can get the actual term. I forgot what it is, but there's something cave, but basically it's where the real problems in your life actually exist, and you have to go and face it. You have to go through the darkness to actually find what the problem is and deal with it. And the second time I went into the cave, I said, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to learn to thrive in darkness. It doesn't matter how, if I have no hope or anything, I'm going to learn to thrive and be successful no matter the situation. And that's exactly what I did. And, people were really surprised about it, but I came out of that really well. It's basically like going black pill and saying, I'm going to be full on black pill. Everything about black pill is right. And I don't care. I'm going to be successful and happy. That's what I did.
All right.
Go ahead and read that one. Yeah.
Supreme Keisha in the building. Has he been through therapy for how his mother treated him growing up? To
Yes.
me, it seems like there's something that hasn't truly been fixed yet. Hashtag men first. Supreme Keisha saying hashtag men first. That is weird. But the whole therapy that you went through after dealing with the women, I take it I got to the root of it. And I dealt with mama as well, right?
Yep. You have to deal with all of that. And Luke Skywalker cut Darth Vader's head off in the cave. Yeah, that's right.
Right on. good reference. Yeah. No, that was a good one. All right. I will open this up. People can come up, chop it up, have a conversation about Theo's story that I know some of y'all can relate to it. I can relate to some of it, but I ain't never went that far. I got simp stories I'm scared to tell, but but mine ain't worse than his. But,
let me just say one point before you go in. This as in conclusion, my changes got me security. I have insurance. I have over $10,000 on my HSA. I've got over $500,000 on my IRA. I'm doing investments again, Varner Comics. I'm going into other ventures with other black men for investments. I've got over $50,000 in my bank account right now. Going to go up to $100,000 by October. I teach other men how to get out and how I give them training courses, which I'm doing right now. I'm expanding. So I'm ending up very well. I own my house. I own my car. Everything's pretty good. But
you own it outright though. Do you got a note on that house?
No, I own it outright.
Okay, all right. Yeah, got to go. I didn't want LJ from Savings Minus Debt to pull up on you, telling you don't actually own that house. You a slave.
I don't pay any interest on it, and life is pretty good. So again,
that's the most important takeaway. He did overcome. He did beat it. I mean, he defeated his demons, the spirit of simpery, all of that stuff. He defeated it, and then he making good money, $50,000 a month. And any woman he talked to, he feed them with a long handle spoon. They don't get so that's definitely a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Yes, Logan JJ said we got to all come up here, hold hands, sing "We Shall Overcome" for that story he just told us. But you ain't got your mouthpiece game though together. No, you got to get some game. You got to get your mouthpiece together. I don't even think about it. I see Game Changer down there. But all right, we about to get into it, about to open it up. But before we do that,
Oh, and somebody asked about my alma mater. Yes, it is University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana, and that's represented right.
All right. So before we open up the panel, we got Today's show is brought to you by the Division 6 comic book, created and produced by Michael Varner and executive producer Theodore Young. Division 6 is a James Bond meets Mission Impossible like geopolitical thriller. The protagonist is Seth Banks, an African-American male genius in cryptology and economics that secretly works for a rogue organization of the CIA called Division 6. Be sure to click the link in the chat room or in the video description to view the comic book. New chapters are added bi-weekly. All right. We got Game Changer and Mr. Fantastic in the building. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming on up. Before I go to y'all, Sick Lid in here with another one. He says, Theo, are you gonna tongue? Hey, he didn't tongue kiss his dog, and I charged him up with that. He didn't tongue kiss his dog, but that dog was too damn close. The dog was too close for comfort. It was like right in his face, but no, I didn't see the dog lick his face. It was close. I was watching. I zoomed in all the way on him. I zoomed in all the way on him. Like if I see that dog kiss you in the mouth, I'm dropping you from the panel. But no, the dog didn't lick him in the face. He good. I just charged him up a little bit. But go ahead, Game Changer. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Okay, so thank you. So to me, it seems like all the problems that you were describing, Theo, in your life could have been easily solved with more game. Now, have you ever attempted to gather more game? Because I think that with more game, the bitches would have been paying you. And instead of for $50,000 a month, you'll be making $50,000.50 a month. So, why not, instead of, paying the bitch, get the bitch to pay you using game and mouthpiece?
I don't even care. Especially after what I went through. A shark is a shark. I don't go swimming anymore. I don't care what they give.
Nah, a shark isn't a shark for me. To me, it's Nemo. To me, it's a pet fish. To me, it's just tuna. It's just something I eat. You see, when you got game, fish is fish, and just like cat is cat. What you need is practice your mouthpiece. Now, what you can do is take that $1,500, give it to me, and I'll teach you how to mac a bitch. I teach you how to treat a bitch, and I teach you how to get the bitch to give you the $1,500 to give me. See, that is what game is. See, without game, your name is lame, brother. Now, do you want to be a lame for the rest of your life, or do you want to have game? Tell me that.
I'm me, and I'm not going to be you.
See, that's lame. That's lame. See, the reason why you lame and I got game, see, you bragging like I make $50,000 a month. I make 50,000 cents a month. And guess what? I'm happy. You want to know why I'm happy with my 50,000 cents a month? Because I got game. You talking all this money, but money ain't gonna get you game. Weed is gonna get you game, and once you realize that, brother, you gonna find yourself with more bitches and more weed.
Go for it. You could have all of them.
All right, brother. I'm telling you, without game, you
can have them all. Whatever I'm missing out on, send me a note, and I'll be like, okay, brother, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna send you a note right now, and I want you to read this. I want you to put it in the chat room. There's the note right there. You see that? You see? Highlight that.
Hold up. You on the? If that dog lick you in the mouth, we ending the show.
This is Cutie. She was the one who was with me when I was homeless.
Oh, she stuck by your side.
Yeah, she never left. When I had chemo, I couldn't go to sleep at night, and I would be in like 18, 19 hours of pain, and she would actually go to my head and lick it to help ease the pain that I was going through, because it was actually quite horrible, and I never forgot that. And I was like, nobody else ever did anything like that for me. It was just nice. All the time I always had to worry, like if a woman did anything nice for me, it was always with a threat of violence, and I didn't have to worry about that. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to ever go through any kind of experience like that again.
All right,
I can understand that.
Yeah, get a dog die alone.
You want to know it?
Kevin Samuels, get a dog die alone.
I will have. There will be a woman again in my life. That will happen. And again,
not unless you get game. Not unless you get some game.
You go ahead and get game.
Okay, well, hold on. This is the thing. It's the difference between the type of game. Like right now, he probably don't got no, some spit some flavor in a ear macker down game. But I think he do got game right now in the sense that he understand what women out with women. He understand what not to do. Put it like that. Put it like that. That's what I'm trying to say. He understands what not to do. He understand the mistakes he made. He understand how not to get back into that nonsense. So in that sense, he do got that kind of game. And that's really when you're making $50,000 a month, you just need to understand the basic do's and don'ts when dealing with women. But the smooth talking, chopping holes, mopping flows to aspect of game, you don't have to have all that when you're making $50,000 a month. You just need to understand what women are, what women do, how they operate, and then you basically tell them what to do. And if they don't do it, they gone. Yeah. As long as he understand that, he's solid. See, that's where I'm at as far as
what you fucking on.
So one of the things you have to what you have in liberalism is that all women are perfect. And
wait a minute, real quick. Game changer trolling, joking, but is somebody down in the back chat who about to come up and talk the same shit the game changer is talking, but be serious? There's somebody in the back chat. I'm debating on bringing them up, but I'm gonna go to Fantastic first.
Oh yeah, but just so you know, Theo, I am trolling you, man. I was just joking.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Fantastic. I'm about to bring up somebody who talked just like our game changer was trolling. But go ahead, Fantastic.
Hey, what up, man? What's going on? Appreciate you, Bernard, for having me on, man. Shout out to Theo. Theo, man, I was hitting you with these jokes, heavy in the chat, brother. But seriously, man, I'm sorry for your loss, of course. However long, nobody wants to lose, especially a spouse and a child and all these other things. But yeah, man, ultimately again, but God, okay, he's a deliverer, he's a comforter, he's a healer. Our brother has been delivered. All right, he's been drugged out of the depths of the simping hell. Okay, and I think your story is extremely just a lesson learned for dudes, man, because the whole world is quid pro quo, but especially women. Women are extremely predatory on men, and again, man, they can smell it. Women can smell your personality. They can smell your kindness. They can smell, like you said, the trauma and stuff you suffer from your mom. So, and you go to another thing I was just talking about the other night, especially from the black male perspective. A lot of us are doomed and groomed to not only domestic violence, but just abuse from women, because we grow up being, victim of you. And I guess you was in a two-parent household, right? Yeah. Your mom and dad, and even in a two-parent household, the mother still finds a way to take her anger out on her sons, unfortunately. Right, yeah. So yeah, man. And bro, I don't know. You definitely got the bread, man. And you say you investing in comic books and all these other things, right? You investing in comics and stuff. Hey, man, you need to invest in a script, brother, for yourself. You need to invest in a script and a fucking publisher, because your story, like, goddamn. I mean, you said I was like, hold on. He said homeless times. He said I thought it was like Times, he talking about Times Magazine. No. He said he was homeless 3 times. I was like, goddamn, bro. So. And all over some, all over the little pink stuff, in the middle. But hey, man, just for future references, if it ever happens again, brother, what you do is, I don't know if you grew up in the hood. You don't sound too hood. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to stereotype you, but what you do is, man, you hire some hood bitches and you have them go whoop that bitch, okay, for the American chick. And as far as the foreign bitch, what you do is you get that bitch a plane ticket, and you don't tell her what a plane ticket is, and you send her somewhere to where they confiscate passports. Goddamn it, I need my shit back, bitch. I may not get all that money back, but hey, I'm gonna get some satisfaction or something, bitch. I am not about to lose to you. All right. So all in all, man, that's all I got for now, bro. And hey, glad to hear your story, bro. And most importantly, yeah, man, you like you said, put your success
Your happiness ain't you don't gotta have a bitch. A bitch does not fucking equal success. So all in all, man, you got it. Appreciate you.
Man, fantastic. It is nothing he can do to possibly get that woman. It ain't nothing he can do legally to get that woman back. You ain't nothing. You can't come up with something legal he could do.
Hey,
take all of her earring backs. I mean, but
hey, there is this thing, man. Again, now I'm not saying I've done this, but I theorize it. See, what you do is, but he had to be in the same place. He was never the same place as these women or whatever. You gotta put some baby oil. You gotta put some baby oil on the shower. You know what I'm saying? And she ain't gonna die. She gonna be lumped the fuck up. She gonna definitely take an emergency room trip. But hey, that'll teach her a lesson, bro. I can tell you that. All right.
Loosen all of her high heels. Just try to see if you can loosen the heel, and you gotta do little shit like that to try to get her back. You gonna break an ankle today, bitch. You gotta do stuff like that, man. Ain't nothing legally you could do to get back for all of that. But we about to go to Romy Peso, the Queen Maker, in the building.
What's up, Romy? What's up, Romy Peso? What's up? How's everybody doing today?
Do you require everybody to say? Do you require everybody to say it like that, Romy Peso? Do it got to be said like that, or can we just? We can't just say Romy Peso.
No, you gotta say peso. Yeah, you gotta say peso.
Okay, got you. I got you. Go ahead. You got it.
Let me ask you a quick question, Theo. You were married, correct? Were you married?
Yes, I was.
Where? How many times? Just once?
I was married. Let's put it there.
Okay. Okay.
Why do you want to know?
Were your wives American?
No.
Or were they foreign? They're overseas.
Well, I was overseas. Remember, I was the foreign guy.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you met your wives in another country. What country would that be, if you don't mind me asking? Because I came in on the back end.
So I was in Japan. My wife was Japanese.
Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, the reason why I asked is because maybe you might need to go to a different country. Remember, this is a big giant world. There's almost 4 billion women on this planet. So there's a lot of more options. There's a lot of more options. So don't.
Let's say there's a lot of sharks in the sea, so you can find one who's a unicorn. No, the sharks are sharks. This is fundamental, Rolo. You have to understand female nature, and then if you do go out and try to find someone, you have to understand that female nature does not change. So you have to have someone who's on your platform, in your frame, on your mission. And if you don't find someone like that, it doesn't work. You just keep on going. This is something I entirely 100% agree with. The reason why I failed before is because I did not have that frame of mind, and I was simping back then. It's like you're saying that, like, if I find a different woman, the simping will get it. I'll have no problems. A simp is simp. You can't change the simp mentality.
Well, I guess what I'm confused about is, why are you saying you need to go to a different part of it? I mean, he was already internationally dating. So, I mean, his dating options were already global. So, what you're saying, you need to get more global? Like, I don't understand how
if he couldn't find a woman in Japan, not saying that he couldn't, because he could if he looked hard enough. A lot of times we got to put the blame on ourselves as well. And I think he put the blame on himself. He said he was a simp. However, even simps. There's simps in this world that have successful marriages, so we can't just base it clearly on being a simp. We got to base it on the woman too, because the woman played a critical role in your demise as well. So don't just blame yourself. Don't beat yourself up and say it's all my fault. Blah blah blah. Don't beat yourself up. Dust yourself off. Get back in the game. Now you've learned your lesson. And that's one thing
about human nature. What you're basically, it's like you're saying, it's like the shark on the shore looking at the surfer and saying, "Come back in and take another swim." oh, okay. I know that you're still a shark. I'm not going to deny that.
But every woman is not a. But you got to understand something, Theo. And I don't personally. I don't care if you stay single for the rest of your life or you get married. It doesn't. I don't have any skin in the game. But the point is that every woman is not a shark, bro. And we got to stop thinking that every woman is not a shark.
That's the
because if every woman is a shark. If every woman is a shark, then we just need to say, okay, well, nobody gets married, nobody dates women. We just need to stop messing with women, and that's not gonna happen. I know I'm not gonna stop messing with women.
So with that kind of mindset, what you need to do is go listen to Donovan Sharp, because he has some really good answers and that way how to approach it. Yeah, he has relationships all the time, but he acknowledges who the women are and what their personalities are. He doesn't back down, and I don't back down either. So you have to go in there and understand the situation.
Hey Theo, I'm willing to bet 10 years from now, Donovan Sharp won't even be with that woman.
Yeah, but he will still have his frame.
So Donovan Sharp is not the gospel in relationships.
10 years, he will still have his frame. Rollo Tomasi will still have his frame. KS will still have his frame. These men are not going to be changing their thinking, and neither will I. I mean, this is the way it is. I understand the situation. What you're doing right now is saying something that's woman focused. I'm not woman focused at all. I'm man focused. I'm myself focused.
All right. Thank you, Romy.
Oh, and Janelle, hold on. Janelle is saying stuff. I don't know if you're talking about me, how I identify. I identify as black. And I give money in the black manosphere. I focus on myself, but I do give black money in the black manosphere so that other men can listen and hear. Because if I didn't have the manosphere, the white or the black one, I would have had a vial of vodka and a 45, and I wouldn't be here now. That's where I was going. It's because of the manosphere.
Running away, running wild. What you saying, man? Yeah. Focus. Yeah. Well, we understood what you meant by that. So we don't. They getting goofy. They getting goofy out there. All right, Romy. All right. And Romy, as far as I'm concerned, he is technically a troll, but sometimes trolls can be funny. I just gave him a shot to see if he's gonna say something real silly. But no, he be trolling my comment section, spamming it with the same comment every day. And he has came up one time and said some very some gynocentric trolling sounding stuff so anyway. Sexy Red in here. I've seen you in the chat. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, Theo. I just want to say I see you as a strong man, and I'm glad that you shared your story. It takes a lot of strength to share what you shared. And I know I'm a woman, but that's all I wanted to say. Have a good one.
Okay. Thank you.
She ain't slick. She know what she doing with them avatars and shit. Don't fall for it, Theo.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm cute. What do you mean? I can't help it. What I should put a paper bag over my head and you know what? I'm gonna
you up here, you hearing about the 50,000 and all this stuff a month, and you up here I just want to congratulate you and come on.
I just want to say you've overcome all of your obstacles, and that's a good thing though. That's all I
don't fly her out, Theo. Do not fly her out. Okay, ignore her DMs, Theo. Ignore her DMs.
That's okay, because you'll be in my DMs and you'll be flying me out. But I'm gonna go because I ain't come up here for that.
Play.
Goodbye.
Don't play. You know, I'll drive. Apparently, don't play.
I'm gone. Bye. Goodbye.
Yeah. She put her bid in. Theo. Yes, that was her shooting her shot. Like I said, you make 50,000 a month. You don't gotta have game. Just gotta understand women, who they are, what they are, and understand the proper basic do's and don'ts. So, because she clearly came and just put her bid in. But
again, when it comes to validation, this is something I had to learn with Sandman, is that your validation really does, if you need it, it comes from yourself and from other men. And if you look at Chaos, what he states regarding high value man is that you're recognized as a peer by other high value men. And that's where you're actually getting your validation from as well, in one way or another. And so I don't even, like, a woman can say anything. I don't care. I have women sending me nudes. I don't care. I'm just like, oh, okay, you're stupid enough to send me a nude. Bye. Boom, block. That's it. I'm pretty much savage on this stuff. I do not care. I know what the end result is, which is misery and death, and I'm not going to be with you. It's gone. So, yeah.
Little Big Nate in the building. What's going on?
My man Bernard Riley, salute, sir. Mr. Fantastic Game Changer. Salute, gentlemen. Yeah, man. Theo, very interesting cat. And, shameless plug. He appears, anywhere from 3 to 4 times a week on my channel. And very interesting guy, interesting perspectives. As far as the young lady that came up, if you know Theo, if you're an American woman, you don't have a chance. Is that correct, Theo?
Not practically.
I'll tell you, man, Theo is almost done with American women. Almost. I would imagine if, one came out of heaven and God laid her down at his feet, something may happen. But yeah, Theo has told us several times that, American women, he's just had so many horrible experiences with them. He prefers to go out of the country. But he said, I'm going to be honest with you, Theo, the most impactful thing you've ever said on my show was what you owe or will give these women who are going to end up roaming the countryside in the next 10, 15, 20 years, miserable and alone. Do you remember what you said? You would bring them as they die under bridges?
I would bring them my Amazon cardboard boxes.
To sleep on.
And now you understand a little bit more of the backstory because, I was homeless, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm like, I already know what this experience is. I know what you're experiencing right now. Here's a cardboard box. I give you no mercy.
Cold-blooded. Nigga got ice water in his veins, dog. I'm serious. But he's very entertaining gentleman. And I'll be honest, he's invested so much in my platform. Wanted to come up and publicly thank him for that. And I had no idea, that somebody like this would come through on such a small platform and do what he's done for me. Mm-hmm. So, man, I just wanted to say thank you. I'm serious, man.
I'm laughing at Black Savant in chat. He says, "Sexy Red, I make $25,000 a year as a manager at Arby's. You want to get flued out?" I wonder if she would have came up. He would have told a similar story about some things he went to. She would have came up. "I just want to say you're a strong man and you overcame a lot." And I wonder if she would have came up with the same energy for $25,000 a year working at Arby's.
In the manosphere, those moves are so obvious, and I'm not putting any nefarious motives behind what the young lady did, but it's so obvious.
Oh no! She didn't break the law. She didn't commit a crime.
No, not at all. Not at all. You just got to be careful. You got to be very, very careful, man.
She's supposed to. Hey, women, they supposed to be women. Hey,
Yeah, that's what the manosphere states, is that the women are women, and you have to respect them as women. But look at the definition of how we define women, and don't deviate from that.
But the question is, would she have been a woman if you made $25,000 a year? Would you have seen all that lovely womanness if you made $25,000 a year?
I didn't see anything like lovely woman. I saw a shark.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll be honest. I saw a cordial, nice lady. My only question is, would she have taken the time to come up here and say that to you had you not made the money that you make?
Probably not. I mean,
yeah, but that's the problem. That's the problem.
I don't even go that far. I mean, it's pretty much like I see a shark. That's the first thing. It's just boom, see a shark. So
honestly, I don't even necessarily see that much of a problem, because let's just face it, a man who makes that much money He's the male equivalent of a woman who's a 9 or a 10. I mean, that's just reality. So if a woman did a one-on-one interview on somebody's YouTube channel and she was looking like a 9 or a 10 and on camera, yeah, some guys would have came up and be like, yeah, look, queen, I think that you and would have just said some bullshit. That's normal. People going to shoot their shot. Now, whether or not they take shooting a good shot, whether they got, I'll use the terms, good game or bad game is another thing. Whether they look obvious that they just saying something nice, but they really just trying to get access, whether or not they look obvious or not is another thing. But desiring or being attracted to it, that's not a problem. So in that sense, that I can't say a woman did something wrong just by just making herself known to an individual that she sees some value in. I can't say nothing was wrong with that.
No, and I agree completely. But
it's understandable why they would see less value in a guy who makes $25K a year. Like those are things that we generally understand that, but we can just point out the obvious play when it's obvious,
Yeah, but the biggest problem, Bernard, is that it seems that almost no ABWs can recognize the value in the man before he gets to where he's going. That's why they lose. That's why they almost always lose. I don't want no build-a-boo, blah, blah, blah. They never see the man's potential. As long as he's on his way to where he's going, if he's not at the destination, they don't care. And that's the problem.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'll throw it back to Theo, and this speaks back to the story he just told. He was dealing with women that, no doubt, he was simping for, but he was simping in hopes of getting a full-time position with those women. And it didn't even click in their mind that, oh, wait a minute, this guy is working hard, paying bills at 2-3 different places, making $15,000 a month, and he wants to be with me. I need to do what I got to do to make it work with him. You don't got to be all scattered all over the place. Hey, let me move in with you, or you move in, or you come. Shouldn't move in with a woman, but or you come move in with me. It seems like they would have been on that. Like, oh shit, I got a good man who's willing to do everything for me. He make this much money. He clearly care about me. I need to put my head on straight and make this work. But they couldn't even see the value in it back when he was making $150,000 a month, let alone. So it turns into a ridiculous thing when you really analyze it and break that down. So it's not that they just got to be able to spot a guy who's a bum with potential. It's a matter of they wouldn't even respond improperly to it when he was making 100,000. So there's that.
The biggest problem with that, Bernard, is
not that he shouldn't have not that he should have hopped in and got with any of those women, because they was clearly pieces of shit. But I'm just saying that they didn't even see it then when he was already doing well. But go ahead.
I think the thing that blocked them from seeing it was the quote unquote simping. Women hate simps. They hate them. Doesn't even matter how much money you make. If you act like, if you treat her like a queen and a star and all that stupid shit, she's ultimately going to resent you and want nothing to do with you. And she's going to show you that. If Theo had the same attitude he had now, but he just had a caveat to it, so, I don't mind messing with a single mom if she's on point and, everything's in line the way it's supposed to be. Those women would have stayed as devoted to Theo as he wanted them to. The problem is the simping. The simping blocks the view of the money and the success and everything, because ultimately most women at the end of the day, they want to be with a man that acts like a man, and the simping just takes away from that tremendously.
Yeah, that's true. I got you on that. Only thing I'll say, I do tend to believe that with those women, the way he described them, I tend to believe it wouldn't matter. Like, so we got to get out of that thinking that, oh, this woman who demonstrated in situation A, she demonstrated that she's a piece of shit. But had you done this, situation B would have turned her into a decent human being who you should build a life with. No. So that's where I'm at with that. So we can't fall into that thinking that, a woman we got to be able to say that this particular woman is just an outright bad person. You shouldn't deal with her. Not that if I did A, B, C, and D, she would be a good person, and now I can actually be with her long term. Like, no,
let me give a little bit more comment on this. So, when I took the red pill and I was making between like 275 to like 320,000 a year, and my life was progressing, almost every single one of those women, single mothers, came back and they were talking to me, and it was very obvious what their intentions were. And I was looking at them, I was like, you're past 35. I can't trust your childbirth anymore. There's no way. I'm not gonna even deal with you. But it wasn't even that. I knew what their intentions were, and most of those women were out smashing other guys, and I had no idea what was going on at that time period. So now that I understood, when I understood that at that time, this was like 2016, 2017, I was like, no, I'm good. No, you do your thing. You continue your life in poverty, which is most of them were. They were somewhat degree poverty. None of them were above $50,000 a year. They have multiple kids. And I was like, it ain't me, man. Thank God I'm not in your position. Bye. I'm gonna go shop at Hermes now.
Poverty.
Right. Right on. All right. Red, you're back in the building. What's going on?
Yes.
You about to shoot your shot again? No, just playing.
Hello. Yeah, at Little Bit. Yeah.
Go for it.
You said, would I have called in if he made $25K a year?
Mhm.
Probably not. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Understood.
Probably
And
not.
I appreciate your honesty. I really do. I appreciate that.
But I didn't call up to shoot a shot or anything. I just wanted to say that I acknowledge, what he's been through, and I think he's a strong man. That's all I wanted to say. I didn't never had a motive.
Hold on. You tried to smuggle some fuckery under the table.
I
did. You said you would not have called in if he made $25,000 a year.
Probably not. Because he need to be more focused on himself.
Wait a minute. Right. So
and his money.
Stop. So you're proving that that a shot was taken.
No. Just because he has,
whoa,
just because he
hold on,
has it and he's
time out. I'm the host. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If it is the case that he needs to be focused on himself, like if he's making $25,000 a year, he needs to get focused. But you were calling up simply on some purely
being nice,
platonic, just being nice stuff. If it was all about just being nice, saying, "Hey, way to go, King, good job," then that's a good point. His focus wouldn't be a factor in the equation.
That's a good point.
So the fact that you put that as a factor in the equation shows that you came up, and nothing wrong with that. You just
exposed my female nature.
Yeah, you came. You like took a.
Well, maybe I didn't realize it. Yeah.
Women shoot a shot by just making themselves known, getting in the presence of a guy, making sure he notices you. That's the female shooting her shot. That was a shot that you shot, and the fact that you wouldn't have came up to just say hello.
Me shooting my shot would be trying to get his email and his number and be like, "I'll hit you up later."
No, that's going full gangster with it. This is the soft shoe version of it. You're trying to test the waters of his previous simpery and just try to see, maybe if I just get up here with a sexy avatar and say something nice to him, that may.
No, he's already stated he doesn't care for American Black women. So
and you don't give a damn. You think
I don't think anything.
You're gonna be the one that's gonna change him.
I didn't come here to be contentious with you. I just wanted to say hi, hi Theo, and tell Lil Big Nate, answer his question. But I didn't come here to go back and forth about if I would or wouldn't, because that wasn't my intention at all.
You gotta go back and forth. You already conceded that I was right. You conceded.
I never said you, but the thing is, I never said you were wrong.
Right. So there's nothing to go back and forth about.
Yeah, I'm not here to. Your point was proven. Your point was proven, and I agreed with it. So.
Sexy Red, go ahead and hit me with that $20 for my gas though, and like I said, I still do American Black women, light skinned ones at that.
Is that? So, I can't hear you from that mic you talking on. Hello.
Oh, you can. Stop it. Stop it. You hear me just fine.
Hello.
And hey,
No,
when I
you
show up,
didn't.
you might be talking to a different mic. Okay, quality top of the line.
No, you did not. No. Oh God. I
Oh
set
my
myself up for that
God.
one.
Remember who you're dealing with here.
Mr. Fantastic with the
Remember
comeback.
who you're
Oh,
dealing
And I
with
didn't
here.
come up here for this either. How
Remember
about
who
that?
you're dealing with.
I didn't come up here for this either.
I got a
Men
question.
over mic.
I got a question. I got a question for
Men
the
over
lady.
mics, baby.
Got a question for the lady. Bernard, is that all right?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Miss Red, pleasure to meet you, madam.
You too. I listen to your channel every now and then.
Oh, you do? It should be
Yeah.
more often.
I'm a.
It should
Oh
be-
yeah.
You should listen to my channel every time I'm broadcasting. But I appreciate
You're
that.
right. You're right. You're right.
But I tell you what, do you personally have the skill to recognize a man that's headed to where Theo was headed? Do you think you have that skill set? Do you think ABW women in general have that skill set to be able to recognize, oh my God, this guy is going to one day make in the mid six figures?
That's
You know,
the
more
thing.
towards more
one of
towards
my-
7 figures.
One of my very first boyfriends, I was like, oh, I see potential in him. You know, I did it. And 5 years later, he's still doing the same thing and he wasn't maturing. So I had to make the decision, you know, I had to break up with him because I didn't want to cheat on him. He was a good guy. I'd rather break up with you instead of cheat on somebody.
That got to do with me.
I'm sorry.
All right.
If I could just respond to what she said, let me tell you what I told my daughter about potential. All right. I told her that the only time you give consideration to a man's potential is his potential to finish something that he's already started.
Mm-hmm.
You never listen to a nigga tell you about what he's going to do.
Yeah.
If he's not actively working on it today, you give no consideration to it because what'll happen is exactly what I told her. Just like what happened to you, you'll wake up 5-10 years later. He's no closer to doing it than he was the day he met you.
Yeah, and that's how it was. And I didn't realize it until that day.
That's why you got to listen to my channel.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Good deal.
All right. All right. Judge Zilla in the building.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey,
well,
Theo.
Hold on, wait, real quick. Theo, do you want to respond to any of the proceedings that was just said here? I didn't want to.
I will say one thing. So I agree with Nate, what he was saying there. And a man has to be already having achievements and then planning more. And the achievements have to be a part of a bigger plan. So he's already in progress. So for myself, when I was dating my wife, I had gone from making like $1,000 a month in IT to $85,000 a year. And I was going for specialization. I was getting my CISSP, which is Certified Information Systems Security Professional. And there were none of them in Japan at that time in 2001. I actually became the 5th one in Japan to get it. And so I was a first foreigner. And so you have to be on the progress. You have to be able to see movements. You have to be able to see activity. I was working 2 part-time jobs plus of my full-time job, plus paying for all the dates with her. And she could see that there were books that I was buying and practice tests. And I had this whole activity going on to get my certification. If a woman doesn't see that kind of activity, there isn't potential. There's just a guy dreaming. It's a fantasy, a little thing while he can use your body. That's it.
Exactly.
But
that was going to be the point that I was alluding to, right? Even when Theo says the market's bad, and respect again for telling your story, Theo, and your perseverance is remarkable. But too often the time is the situation that women look at the finances the same way they look at the aesthetics, right? The fat woman wants to get with the fit man, and he's already supposed to be fit and chiseled, right? And then he's supposed to help her lose weight. He's supposed to get her into position. And that's the default position of most of the women that are available on the market today. When they're pressed for saying, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to deserve said man who's already achieved his position versus recognizing somebody on the way up? They got nothing. Number one, they can't bring anything any more than vagina that many others have already had, or any other orifice that many others have already had, for much less value for much less value because the majority of them have given it up for half of a blunt.
Judge, they want you to boldly go where many men have gone before.
Exactly. And then when you ask them for the qualifications, well, they're like, well, if you tell me and if you show me, I can do it. No, look, I come prepackaged, you come prepackaged. If you don't have the qualifications, you don't get the fucking job. But the women in Western women these days want to apply for every fucking job that says fucking master's degree and fucking doctorate apply, need only apply with GED certificates.
If I might,
I agree.
Okay, Theo, did you tell the story? Well, first I want to clarify something to misread. Theo doesn't just not date Black American women. He doesn't date American women usually, he said. Not just Black. I don't want you to think that. So, but Theo, did you tell?
No, he said he dated a single mother too in like Wyoming or something.
No. I'm saying
right now his current position.
Yeah, right now his current.
Okay.
Any American
women. It's not just ABWs. He doesn't mess with any American women, according to what he tells me.
I just like to say the guy.
Hold on, wait. Little Big Nate was gearing up to ask a question to Theo. Go ahead, Nate.
And you might be interested in this, Miss Red. Theo, can you tell them about the date you told me on my platform? The Black lady from church that you. I don't know if you went into that yet. I'm in and out, but if you haven't, man, if you could tell that complete story, I think it would be compelling for these people to hear.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and say this. I said this on his platform. I'll go ahead and say it here. So, in 2019, in my church, the only Americans that they can get through my filter because I'm polite are at church. So, one woman, ABW, single mother, said she wanted to go out with me, and I was like, okay, fine. So we'll go out and have sushi. And she said she wanted to bring her child with her son, and I said, okay, fine. And then she wanted to bring her girlfriend with her, and I said, okay, fine, we can go and do that. And then I got there, her girlfriend also brought her son, so it was 4 people there, and we're having sushi. And then she basically wanted to turn around and said that I didn't know anything about Japan and everything I had done with Japan was crap, even though I had been there over 16 years. And she's I'm sitting there. This is a Japanese restaurant that I go to. I speak in Japanese there fluently. So she's like, you ain't crap. You basically has her attitude. You don't know what the stuff. You don't even know how to use chopsticks. I'm like, I use chopsticks all the time. And so I was telling her, like, there's certain kind of sushi that you should not eat, particularly as a foreigner. You just should not eat that. It's only for natives. And she decided that she was good. I told her, like, don't eat that sushi. It's not good for you. And she decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and eat it anyway and show you that I can do stuff that you can't do. And she put it in her mouth and she puked right then and there at the table. It's horrible sushi. And I just looked at her and I said, this is enough. I can't take this anymore. I stood up. I went right to the cashier, paid the bill, gave 20% tip, and I left. I haven't even returned that restaurant ever since.
Well, wait.
No, go ahead, Game.
You know she. Thank you. You know she. Bebe's kid, you right?
Right. That's what I was going to say. I thought. I was like, are you sure? You sure you met her in church?
No, that's true.
Whoa. Are you sure you didn't meet Cutie Pie in a beauty salon with the baby Louis Vuitton under her underarm?
Wait, hold on. I saw the movie Bebe's Kid. When I say she Bebe's Kid,
okay, so here's what I mean. So Robin Harris on Bebe's Kid, he went to date a woman and bring her son to Fun World, and she brought along a bunch of uninvited people. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean by that. So you meant to date a single woman, and she brought along uninvited, her friend and her friend's son, basically having everybody, as many people as she can, eat off of your generosity, off of your date.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that happened in the Kanye West song, right?
Yeah, I was reading something during that part of the story. The only part that jumped out to me is that he told her not to do something. She did it anyway, and then she threw up.
Yeah. No, that's the climax of the story. But the beginning of the story, he said that she brought in a friend and and the friend brought in a son without permission. That's what I'm saying. That's the Bebe's kid.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Now I get the reference. Now I get the reference.
But additionally, on the date, it does seem like she wanted to show out in front of her friend. She wanted to, exude authority and stuff, and she basically wanted to show that she got it like that. That she don't have to be respectful to get and keep a man. So she was pretty much showing off.
Yeah, but
that's
see,
what it seems like to me.
He wasn't a good leader, that's all, because he told her to do something. She did the opposite, and then she got bad results. But if
right, I'm saying that her friend,
if he was per the argument, if he was a better leader, she would have followed, even though he was correct and had the right information and led her in the right way, and she chose to go the wrong way.
She was a bad follower.
I'm just refuting bad internet arguments against men. Anyway.
Oh yeah, she was definitely a bad follower. I mean,
if he would have led better. If he would have backhanded her and then slapped the chopsticks out of her hand.
Yeah.
Right. Why you let me do that after you told me not to do that?
Right. Right. Yeah. I think that's what they mean by leadership skills. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always a bad thing when they want to bring their friend, because she wanted to show that she led the relationship. This was like she wanted to show her friend who wears the pants, and it was kind of from what you described, it was bad.
All right. Monk Luigi says salute to the chat. And I think you in the super chat with a pretty extravagant step. Hold on, wait. Shout out to Charles Clark. He says they are at the table. I already have the
live
table.
From Middle Earth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He looks like from Pandora.
That looks so cool. Is that Jurassic Park?
Straight out of the Shire.
About to come out of there.
Straight out of the Shires of Peru.
Yeah.
All right. Hey everybody, what's going on? Hi.
But you got a gaming channel or something? Like
I do have a YouTube channel, yes, and I do game. I have a Twitch channel as well as Monk Luigi. I believe I was first on Mr. Fantastic's first live broadcast, so salute to you and welcome back home, because I believe he was doing some stuff on the ship. I wanted to say, yeah, man, thanks. And I wanted to give my salutations. And I was at work and I came home and I was listening to the stream to address the topic. First, I want to say my humble condolences to you, Mr. Theo, for what happened to your wife, as well as all the stuff that you've done. But I had some questions that were a little bit more off topic for Mr. Theo, if that's okay for me to ask questions about. I don't know if you
can go ahead, pending what the questions are. Like,
well, it's actually more towards business and finance, because I keep hearing him bring up that he makes $50,000 like a year, right, or monthly. So my first question was monthly. So my first question that came to my mind as I was listening to it, I was at work, was what do you do for a living? So that would be my first question.
I'm IT cloud. I'm an IT security cloud architect. So basically AWS, Azure, and GCP, I go in there and I create I create secure architectures, or I look at the architecture and I make sure that the security is put in there. I also do this with IBM Cloud.
That's hot. Okay.
And then I do web application firewall.
You need to stop it for real.
It is.
But at this person just go straight there. Hey,
she's a sniper, boy. She's a sniper.
Did not come up here to shoot her shot. Let's just make that very clear.
Oh my God.
She's got 3 fins. God,
that's awesome. That's
okay. Well, you said you go into IT and computers. My second question was, you said that at a time you did go homeless at first, right? So I live in New York City. I know a lot of people that are homeless, especially veterans as well. So my question is, what was like your first step to trying to get out of being homeless as a person that was living that lifestyle?
That's an excellent question. Better decisions. Being relentless about looking for work, and recognizing, being like brutally honest about where you failed, like where you made bad decisions, and saying this was wrong, this is what I need to do, and you really have to do it. There can be no mercy. You have no room for failure.
What state do you live in? I'm sorry. Oh, if that's too personal, I just want to.
No.
My question is alluding to what job, or specifically, if you were homeless, did you initiate going into first, or was it like just throw your application anywhere to see if you can get picked up?
No, I made no. Okay, let me. Like, so I was homeless in California and in Illinois.
Okay.
I live right here. I live in Texas. I have no problems here in Texas. Now, it has nothing to do with where I live. The better question, I kept on.
I've never heard somebody talk about how they was homeless in multiple states. That's just funny. All right, carry on. I'm sorry. I just never heard. Normally, a homeless person is not that well traveled. I'm just saying. If you homeless, you're typically homeless in the same city your whole damn life. But anyway,
yeah, I'm just trying.
Internationally homeless in this motherfucker. That's a rarity. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I overachieve. What can I say?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. I like that. That actually brings some humor to it. So it's better to. I kept on doing resumes in IT security. It's just I just moved more and more aggressively towards application security. And the good question is, the better question is, where did I stop making bad decisions? Like, that's where did I become flexible? Where did I recognize that I was the problem, right? So I mean, I'll tell you one during this time period. One time I had to be in St. Louis. I had to work on site, and I didn't have a place to stay, and they didn't have good security there, so I just slept underneath the desk. Yeah, I did that kind of stuff. I have stories like this as well. And then this is I have some horrible stories, man. I'm not saying them all.
Okay, no, yeah, I didn't want you to go into that. I'm trying to get into where like Black adults who get into that state and they're trying to get out of it, especially veterans, because they get out the military and then all of a sudden they end up not being able to get where they're trying to get to. My next few questions are. Oh, sorry, somebody's gonna say something. But
no, go ahead, bro. I'm gonna cut you off, man.
I was gonna ask two more questions. For those, because I got nephews and cousins as well who are struggling. As far as where they want to go and what life choices they want to get to. What advice would you give to the young males and young boys who are trying to get to your level?
Trying to get to where? Trying to get to where?
To your level, like trying to get to being able to make $50,000 a year. What advice would you give to
month?
Yes.
Month.
Yes,
you
sir.
said year.
Oh, year. Monthly. I'm sorry. Monthly. 50,000 monthly. I'm sorry.
Let's just start saying $500,000 a year. So we
half a million. Hey,
$500,000 a year.
Okay.
600,000 over $500,000 a year. Right.
So what advice would you give the young males that are going through high school? They haven't gotten to college yet. What advice would you tell them to get to that path?
They would be very far away from doing something like that. So what I would say was do what I did when I was younger and what successful people did when I was younger, which is stay away from women, don't date, and study like crazy. Or if whatever craft you have, whatever your trade is, you want to be the best in it, and then you want to specialize because people pay premium money for specialization. And then you want to do cross specialization, which is what I did in IT security. So I specialize in IT security with application security and then with cloud, but then I also specialize with compliance. And I'm very good in those areas. And those other areas I don't know anything about, but those areas I'm very deep. And so people will pay me premium for that. But it's like there isn't going to be a television. There isn't going to be video games. No video games. There ain't going to be any weed. There ain't going to be any substance. You're not going to drink. You're not going to be thinking about any women. You're going to be studying yourself like to death. It'll be primo. That's it. That's all you do is study. And
my last question, because I know I was derailing everything. What type of scholarships and grants that helped you get through college or get to college to get you to getting to that venture?
I studied like crazy when I was in university. So I was in high school. So I did get a full black scholarship to the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. And then I also got full ride to Berkeley and University of Michigan, and I stayed at Champaign-Urbana. So it really was, studying calculus, hardcore, studying. I didn't use some of the materials in the high school. I actually bought the textbooks in the university. And I use those for studying materials.
Okay. All right. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks for your questions. Edwin Walker in the building says Sexy Red pulling up from half court. Well, like you doing.
That's
like,
right. That's right.
Right on.
3
Yep.
pointers all day. All
Okay.
day.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna get off because
Go.
I don't even know why I'm here anymore. I'm so sorry. But yeah, thank you for having me again.
All right. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Little Big Nate, you was trying to jump in there. You got it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, Theo, it sounds kind of strange. It sounds like you took personal responsibility for why you were homeless. I think it would have been a better move just to blame it on racism and white supremacy. And I think that would have just been the better bet. Because I'm sure at the root of it, that's why you had lost your fortune and found yourself homeless. You know.
Let me go and get a comment on that. So when I at the end of my third homelessness, I was in Illinois. One of the state officers, some friend of, I don't know how they found me, but they were like, you qualify for welfare. You know, you can actually get it. And I said, hell no, I would rather be homeless again. I refuse to be on it. I know what that leads to and dependency. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. Instead, what I said was, the reason why I had been successful in making big money in Japan was because of my decisions. And the reason why I failed and had misery and poverty was because of my decision. And it had nothing to do with race or anything else like that. It was 100% me. And if I wanted to be successful again, I had to make a series of good decisions and wait years. So while I make good decisions, some fruit comes and I have to make more good decisions and keep it going. And it's going to take years to actually grow through. But if I do it and I'm persistent, I will make it. There's not going to be anyone else there except for myself. There's not going to be any government. There'll be no friends, nothing. I will have no aid whatsoever. It's 100% me and my decisions.
That's a lesson for us all, man. Salute.
Thank you.
Right on. Good stuff. Good stuff. Because we don't believe in that. We don't believe in that blaming people for our problems stuff over here. Shout out to Bert in the building. Says, ladies, pay attention to the fact that he has a lot of books in his background. Readers are leaders. No, more specifically, men pay attention to the fact that he got a lot of books in the background. Damn, what the ladies need to pay attention to. The men need to notice and acknowledge that. You're right on.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Absolutely. Absolutely. But shout out to Bert in the building. Shout out to everybody who's supported the stream in any way, shape, or form. Probably about to be wrapping it up pretty soon. But shout out to Bert for the 5. Yeah.
Hey, you mind if I ask a question?
Sure.
Oh yeah, bro. Too. My bad. I forgot you. Yeah. I couldn't bring you up, for it was a little bit. I saw you down there. I was clicking. I wouldn't. Like you had some Plantation Wireless or something. I wasn't able to bring you up. But
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You got it.
Oh man, nah, bro. Hey, I appreciate you sharing your story, brother. Man, it's a lot of points in there where I think I can actually reflect on in my own life. And what Monk Luigi was saying, that transitioning out of the service, man, I think that was like one of the hardest things I had to do. I actually was homeless, but fortunately I had family to fall back on. So I wasn't truly homeless, but you know, technically I was, 'cause I didn't have a place to go except my family place. But as far as having that mode where you realize you are your own worst enemy and ain't nothing gonna change until you do, that right there is powerful and frightening at the same time. Because you basically as a man have to realize that ain't nobody coming to save you. You have no safety net. You are your own hero. And until you embrace that fully, you know what I mean, ain't no progress gonna be made towards any goal. And I truly appreciate you sharing your story, bro. I think I may have said something previously on the panel with you when you said something about going monk mode for 8 years, bro. I ain't understand the background behind the reasoning behind you doing that, bro. But you know, now that you broke everything down, I see, you know, why you would make that decision. You know, I honestly could not, you know, tame my wild oats and not, you know, smash on something, you know, for 8 years, man. But that takes amazing amount of discipline, bro. Like for real. And I know a lot of folk in the chat are hearing him quoting different shit from the manosphere, or different people from the manosphere, and you know, might look at this shit kind of odd, or you know, think it's kind of on some goofy shit. But it's like this man has basically got the results he wanted to get. You know, regardless of how he got there, he got the results he wanted to get out of his life. So whether it be, you know, taking a knowledge from Rolo, taking knowledge from Kevin, or whatever, he actually it has gotten to a point in his life where nobody can tell him shit, and he knows what he wants, and he goes after it. So regardless of how he got there, man, like you have to commend his effort and his discipline. Thanks for having me up, man. I appreciate it.
Could I ask a question real quick? And I want to piggyback off what Brother Truth said. Salute, Brother Truth.
Go ahead. Man.
What percentage of your current life's success would you attribute to things you learned in the manosphere?
Oh,
yes.
Really?
Yes, sir. I want to know. What percentage of your current status and success in life would you attribute to what you've learned in the manosphere?
That's I would say at least 80%.
Are you so wow?
And
I dropped a bomb for that one.
Saving lives, baby. Yes, we are.
I had to actually think about real quick was like, okay, so you have your education and you got your master's degrees, but that was like, well, that was kind of blue pill because you're just following, right, Theo? I was like, yeah, that was following, but I went into STEM and I did sacrificing. So that was kind of my dad teaching me that one. Like, yeah, that was dad. Okay, that's fine. But then when I really looked at okay, so I didn't use the gun and the violet vodka. So, okay. And I decided to take responsibility. And then I decided the manosphere was like, own up to everything you've done wrong. Yep. Identify where the blue pill is. Yep. Work, make the best version of yourself. Yes. Remove everything gynocentric from your mind 100%. Yep. That's Sandman right there. Understanding women's nature. Don't see a little piece of booty and then go for it and just lose everything that you've just thought. Yep, that's Sandman. That's fundamental Sandman. And these points you have to keep on reinforcing it. That's why you have to literally take it every single day. And if you do, you can sit back and say, like, look, this is what I'm really capable of doing. I can really go far. And these women think I can only like do this because that's what they're used to. They're used to only this. I'm a man. I can go much further. I can go all the way out. I know how far. So let's just not even listen to them. Let's really push myself as far as I can go. And when I did that, whoa, like the cash just kept on coming in. I just kept like, what do I want to buy now? I want to get this. I want to get that. I want to have a great life. I have this beautiful setup, and I have a standard of living that is by far superior to anything that I've had before. And so, when a woman even talks to me now, I'm like, okay, because I use some KS here, and I'm like, well, how do you not understand how to deal with a man like me? Do you know how to deal with me inside the house? I'm not talking about booty shaking here. I'm talking about like when I'm overstressed, which is every Wednesday, do you understand how to deal with my situation and how much stress I've gotten, responsibilities I have, and I need to move forward? Like, can you deal with this? And a lot of these people don't. The women don't understand it. And I'm like, you're just looking at your bag. You're just looking at what kind of life you think that you can get yourself. You don't understand what I am doing and how I am moving forward. And unless you don't understand that, either get out of my way or I'm just going to drop you. And that's what usually happens. I just drop her.
Wow. And you attribute 80% to the manosphere. Wow.
Oh yeah. I would.
Wow.
I would say again, Sandman, Karen, Donovan, Coach Greg Adams. Oh, they were fundamental.
Hey, real talk,
And
man.
real
Like for
quick, shout out,
anyone to say that this
hold
shit,
on,
this space. Oh, go ahead, man.
real quick. Shout out to author Alan Roger Curry in the building. I shouted you out earlier in the show because when Theo was telling his story, it had the possibility of sex written all over it. And the story that he told, I don't know if you was listening, it was very similar to what you talked about, how you say out in LA, it be those women with, men with money, men be paying their bills and monthly that they never had sex with. So he told a story that just sounded like it just came right out your it sounded like it came just right out of your mouth, basically. But shout out to Alan Roger Curry. He says, question for Theo. I thought I heard you say at one point you were headed toward being suicidal. How much were you earning at the time? Also, do you consider yourself a high value man? Ever read The Possibility of Sex? There's 3 questions in there. The first one is how much. I heard you were suicidal. Okay, how much were you making when you were suicidal?
Okay, so I was from the point that my wife died until around I took Karen, the red pill with Karen. I was suicidal pretty much the entire time.
So that was from like 2012 to 2018.
That would be 2008 until 2012, the end of 2012.
Oh damn. Oh, okay, my fault. Got the years wrong.
And so I would say like at any point it could have happened. So that's what I was worrying about. So even though I was simping hardcore, the way I looked at it was, I didn't die today, so good. Let me think. Were you?
And how much? Well, you want to know how much were you making at that time? Around that time, you're still making over 6 figures.
In 2008, I was making $250,000. In 2012, I was 75,000, and I had 2011. I was homeless 3 times. And the maximum amount of money I made, I grossed just like $22,000 the entire year.
Wow.
Yeah, I got blown away that year.
Right.
I had a quick question in regards to
we got 3 questions by ARC.
I'll answer this one.
Also,
my bad.
Man?
Okay. I consider myself a high value man based upon KS's definition and on all the points that he has stated. I did not develop that definition while being with KS. I started this in 2012 when I had cancer. I actually put the framework about how this was going to be, and I did it in a survival point of view. Like, this is how I need to survive. I need to have 2 and 3 jobs. I need to have savings. I need to have social income, various sources. It was brutal. I mean, there was no mercy. That I was the only backup. I did not care about getting laid. I really not. I did not. I looked, again, I had cancer. I said, how much did I lose and suffer in the pursuit of getting some booty? And what kind of life could I have had if I didn't do that? And I said, that's it. I don't care. If it happens, fine. I just as long as I have no exposure, no possibility of losing anything. That's it. I'm pretty brutal in this area.
That's Theo's half white side kicking in.
And a lot of y'all, hold on, wait. Let me wait a minute. Let me unpack something. See, now I know ARC well enough now after observing him here. His petty side is kicking in right now when he asking, have you ever read The Possibility of Sex? Because you've shouted out all these manosphere people and books you've read, and you Coach Greg Adams and Rollo Tomasi and Sandman and all. You ain't mentioned Alan Roger Curry, and he feels some type of way about that. Okay, hold on. Oh, I thought you was about to show one of ARC books.
Yeah, man. He's a walking commercial.
That's what ARC on right now. He mad because you mentioned all them names and you ain't drop his, man. You ain't read The Possibility of Sex. Come on now. Oh, you on mute.
I just heard about you, I think, in the last month.
Oh wow! You late to the party on ARC.
Yeah, it's the other big guy. I forgot his name. The guy who's like doctor. I can't believe I forgot his name. The guy everybody quotes. I only found out about him like last year in the fall. The guy who's really popular. I can't believe I forgot his name, but I rarely watch him. Yeah, I go pretty deep into certain groups and really study it, and then kind of start moving on after that.
Yeah, man. But real talk, you would like The Possibility of Sex. It would, because it was truly your life when you was breaking it down. I had to shout ARC out. It was your life. So you definitely should read that one, and then that way when you're acknowledging Manosphere Legends, you won't forget ARC, because when Thunder gonna strike tonight, and you're gonna see his shadow on your wall. Just so you know.
I'm sorry. I haven't read your book. Sorry.
And with a knife, you're gonna be outside the shower with a butcher knife. Like, nigga, you better read this.
Nothing but love for your ARC. I'm messing with you. All right. Who else?
I had a
Was
quick
trying to get in.
question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a quick question in regards to your life before your cancer diagnosis and after. 'Cause I know typically when someone goes through that life or death episode, it profoundly changed the outlook. So what was that change, you know, between before and after, and also from a technical detail perspective, because I'm in IT as well. You know, I'm a network engineer. So
Yeah.
from a studying perspective, like what was your approach to learning a new skill? Like, do you have any particular studying techniques or habits that you do in order to learn the skill quicker?
Okay, so I'll go through this. So I recognize that cancer was my fault, and it really was not only my mindset that I had before, but I mean, I'm being brutally honest with you guys. When I was in California in 2010, I juiced. It helped me lift huge weights, and I felt great. But it was a fleeting desire, because I was doing that so that I wouldn't have to face the death of my wife. This is me living in denial constantly. So I understood that I had it because of me. It was my decision, and I said I have to make better decisions. That was it. Just again, admit what I did wrong, own it. Say this is okay. Get angry. I get brutally angry sometimes. I can't believe I've done all these good things in my life. I have these bad decisions, and I have this person did this to me and this to me. I don't care. I own this right now. What is my reaction to it? How am I going to change? What is my step do I need to be? What step do I need to take next? Where should I be? Where am I? How do I get there? And that's it. That was just brutally honest. And the way that I study, if some of you guys know, if I do live streams, I have my desk, my work area is over there. So I usually do labs, IT labs over here. Over here at my desk, this is my dining room table actually. But I sit here and I study. I actually study without any computers usually, or in my iPad, and I just read. For example, this is a new book that I just got, like Microservices in Action. I find that if it's something that's kind of something that I don't know really well, and it's kind of hard for me to understand, I get it in paperback. And if it's easier for me to do, I get it directly on Kindle. But whatever it is, whatever situation, whatever topic it is, I get my courses in Udemy, I get my training courses. That's it. So when he's talking about high value, high value is like $10,000 a month. I just want to say something. I was making over $10,000 a month between 2013 and 2015. I don't consider myself to be a Henry or a high value or anything during that year, because I was totally messed up during those 2 years. And I was setting myself up, and I was like, I need to have my training. I need to have my experience. I need to have room for failure. And that's what I did. I bought books, I got training, and I failed, and I tolerated it, and it was fine. But I kept on taking red pill. I kept on I went through my red pill rage. I accepted it. I accepted brutal realities and said, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep on going. There wasn't any kissing or dating or any kind of comfort or anything like that. I did not care. I kept on going.
All right, Theo, I got a question. And if this question is too much to answer, just let me know. I'm not going to take offense. You talked about blame and assigning blame. Is there anybody that you blamed for losing your wife and child?
Oh, ha, ha, ha.
And if that's too much, I tend to go really deep on questions a lot of times. So again, if it's too much, just let it go. Of course, it's no problem, man.
No, the doctor was a quack. It's his fault that it happened, and she should have been properly diagnosed that she couldn't have children. She should never have gotten pregnant in the first place. And then there should have been a recommendation for an abortion within the first 3 months. Instead, she kept on going. We thought everything was going to be fine. There's more to it. That's actually, I'm not saying everything, but he should have taken the proper precautions, and so he didn't do it. He said basically that this is a foreign kid, and that it should be fine. All foreign kids come out pregnant, come out perfect. And so he didn't take all the precautions with her, and she was 36. She was already going to have a dangerous pregnancy. We didn't know that her mother also had dangerous pregnancies, and she had miscarriages, and it was genetic. And so she should never have gotten pregnant in the first place. And so I had to walk away. People ask me like more information about like why she died. And the way I did it in 2008 was I said, she's dead. There's nothing I can do. I don't need to know the reasons. The doctor did a misdiagnosis. I'm walking away. I'm going to go live my life. This is too much for me. And that's
wow,
it.
Man.
Yeah. Judge
That's
Zilla,
pretty heavy,
before
man.
before I pass it to Kuda, Judge Zilla says at any time in his life did Theo let I don't know what GDs are in the back door.
Gangster disciples.
Okay, what are those?
I'm just fucking around. There's gang members, but I don't know what the hell this GD thing is, man. I've been seeing this shit all the time.
I seen it multiple times in the chat today. What is that?
Gold diggers.
I mean, obviously he was. If you heard the story, then that was okay.
Gold diggers were all over the place.
That gold diggers, that was the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Judge Zilla, clarify what you mean by GD, if that's what you mean by gold diggers. I'll wait for you to do that. We're gonna pass it to Kuda. Go ahead, Kuda. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep, you good.
What's going on, Bernard? How you doing?
What up?
Man, another day. I heard a little bit of his story. Looks like he's, gone through a lot of dramatic stuff. I kind of been talking about it lately. It seems like he's basically on the tail end of red pill rage. Like he has like a lot of stuff going on and has had a lot of stuff going on. So it's like a lot of guys don't realize when you go through a whole bunch of stuff, man, you could be raging for years, on years, and it's really how you handle it. The advice or the tip I would give him, if he's jumping back out in the dating scene, which a lot of people make, is you don't have to lie to them. You can be truthful to them, but don't tell women, about certain things that you want. Like if it's not what you want, you just leave, because a lot of times, like don't explain yourself to a woman. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they should already know. This will stop you from getting into pointless relationships and saving time with them, moving forward. Because a lot of this stuff is like, they're already fast paced. A lot of the information is what we find out. And then, when we're telling them, hey, don't treat me like that because, I feel that my feelings are important. You don't tell them shit like that. You just move on.
Let me go ahead and jump into here. So my red pill phase was 2013 and 2015.
Yeah, you can still be going through it.
No, that's gone. It's over. And one of the reasons I know this is because I can properly control myself. And so when I'm sometimes I'm a savage online and I'm talking, it's actually very like controlled, witty responses that I'm giving to people. And I couldn't do that during my red pill rage. I was more like burn everything down. I can't believe this crap happened. Now it's like, yeah, it happened. And
no, that's just the rage part. The red pill rage is not always just about the rage. It's also learning how to pick up the pieces and moving on also.
I didn't pick up the pieces. I regrew and I made it different because the pieces were radioactive and blue pill. There was no pieces to put back together. And I had I had to understand that. And this is the way I say that is because a lot of these guys who do get destroyed have to start new. And because if they go back to anything from the past, that's going to destroy them. And that's what was true with me.
So are you dating now?
What I'm saying is still moving on. That's still a part of it. You still got to get back in the groove of things.
No, I don't have to get back into the groove of things.
Are you like what he asked? Are you dating right now?
I talk to women, but I'm not actually going out and trying to do this or that because I don't see the point of it. I'm doing very well. And one of the things that I did with my own resocialization with the red pill was I established a baseline for a secure, happy, prosperous life where I had savings, security, happiness. And then I said, if a woman comes in, I have to recognize that this could be in jeopardy. So will I be willing to have her be in there? And it doesn't matter what her shape is or what she's willing to do. I have to think of what I have and if it's willing to sacrifice it, or if I'm willing to lose half of it right now. And from then on, it was very simple. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go out with this woman. It's like, no, I have something better. I have my life, and you have no place in it, and I know it. Bye. Gone. That's why I say.
But I mean, that's a little extreme. Like, a woman shouldn't just be able to come in and then your stuff be in jeopardy. Like, shouldn't something.
That's how the system is in the United States. She could do a Me Too on you.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on how you go about it. You can't get Me Too not just like that. It's how you navigate.
Yeah, you can get it just like that. So you have to take real precautions.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm saying, like, it depends on
the situation. Okay, you have to take extreme precautions. And when I'm abroad, I don't have to. Here in this market, I do. And so a lot of this case is like, hey, look, I'm not even going to deal with it. Like, I have other things to do.
The thing is, man, a lot of females will see this man as a lick.
Yeah,
they'll play their part as they'll play their part as smooth as possible, man. They'll bake a cake on them for about 2-3 years, man. Try to get that seed up out of them. They'll go in and goddamn trash cans to get rubbers, bro.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, when brothers go through the tail end of it and they start getting back into the swing of things, a lot of their fear is to get played out of their, resources and stuff. But it's like, you got to learn how you go about doing it. Because, like, if you're explaining yourself to her, then she knows the parameters on which to play you.
I don't explain myself to her.
Okay.
I talk and I see where she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I make an evaluation of whether or not I wish to continue. 99 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100, I don't continue. I drop. I say, you're not acceptable in my life. It's not going to happen. There are a few women with whom I talk. Those are the ones who there's one blonde in particular who's always there. And I've talked with her for a number of years, and there's negotiations between us. But I am unapologetic with her, and she's unapologetic with me as well. But it's fine. It's a good situation. But she understands full well she tries to pull any kind of gold digger or manipulation on me whatsoever. I say no. I'll give you an example of this. So she's in Ukraine right now, and she said at one point, Theo, I want you to take me out of Ukraine. I want you to find me a job in America making $5,000 a month, and I want you to pull my mother out of here too. And I told her, I was on cam, and I told her straight out, I said, the Russian army is invading Ukraine right now. They can come and rape your ass. I don't care. Cold-blooded. And I meant it. And she was like hung up on me. She didn't want to talk with me anymore. I said, fine, go away. I'm not going to deal with you. And then she came back.
Yeah, but see, that's like over explaining yourself. You just bounce. You don't have to really do all of that.
No, that was the point. I needed to set expectations that I do not care if the Russian army is coming to take her city over.
Yeah, but
that is it. You drop down the law, and then I did that. I established frame with her, and she
that wasn't a 30-minute conversation. That was one sentence, correct?
No, that was a conversation. What I said though? That was one line. Yeah.
Hold on. If your response to her putting out that huge request was just a one-liner, I think a one-liner is okay.
Yeah, no, that was it. There was no more explanation. There wasn't anything more like this is what I think or this is what I feel. No, it was no, I'm not going to give you a visa. I'm not going to do this for you. And if the Russian army comes in and does you dirty, I use more expressive words. I don't care.
Oh, it was stuff going on in Russia where it was about to get bad out there, and she wanted you to save her from it. In other words,
yeah, the Russian army is invading Ukraine.
Okay, I know. Geopolitics ain't my thing, but she's trying to get you to save her from a potential war zone, and you no, I'm not Captain Saving you. I don't care what happened.
I don't care how beautiful she was, how sexy she was, how what she talked. I said no, and I said I'm not bringing you over here either and get you a job $5,000 a month. That ain't gonna happen. No.
So it supposedly was about to happen. Supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I had to assess where he's at, he's in a place right now where he's standing strong on his principles and his frame and all of that to where he's not going to get played. But I mean, the only area where, it is an extreme amount. I won't say extreme, just a great deal of trepidation when it comes to getting out there dealing with, truly dealing with the woman, getting some ass. But he can take as much time as he need. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Take as much time as you need on that.
See,
But if you're committing to, like, some people have said, they going MGTOW monk for the rest of their life. Like you too, I would say you're too young for that. But right now you're cycling through them process, building, doing what you're doing. You hear some bullshit, they gone, they out. If one stick around and one stand to, if she stand up to your vetting process and then you let her in a little closer, that's fine. That's cool. So I'm not.
I'm saying like her request was like, hey, I want to be with you, and not even be with you. Like, can you take me out of here with these parameters?
And her mama.
DJ Cooler.
And her mama.
This one thing, man. Like, it seems like you're discounting this man's experience, right?
I'm not.
He's been through. Yeah, go ahead, bro. I don't want to put words in your mouth, man. So go ahead, bro.
I'm not coming up there discounting. What I'm saying is that I'm not trying to. I didn't say anything about his experience or anything like that. I'm just saying, don't explain yourself. Like, he didn't have to tell her all of that. He could have just bounce. Like when you do stuff like that and you explain yourself, and then do all of that and then take the woman back, bro. You setting her up.
There's no explanation there. There was a decision. No, that was it. There's nothing more.
I mean, you didn't have to say like the Russian.
No, I did have to say it like this to make sure she understood the law. I don't have to say this is the reason why I'm establishing frame and I read Rollo Tomasi and this is what I should do and this is what I feel. No, it was no. You're not going to get the visa. I don't care. The army comes in and does you. Done. There's nothing more.
You said she came back.
Oh yeah, she's still there. We talk every day. We yap every day. But she's very much aware right now that the only way that I'll bring her into America is that she agrees to have children, and she cannot work. Yep.
Hey, you mind if I ask one last question? One last question, and this is in pertaining to like setting goals and achieving goals. When you were homeless, right, and you made that decision to stop fucking around and get to doing what you needed to do. What to this day, right? What process do you take in order to achieve goals? Do you have smart goals, or do you have deadlines, or what do you do as a man to reach your goals?
Pretty much the same thing I did in university, which was establish what the goal is, what the parameters are for it, and how much it's going to take, how much time.
Have you spent any money on this woman? They saying you're still tricking.
No.
You haven't spent any money on this woman.
Not a penny.
She haven't cost you anything. Okay, cool.
No, I don't even give her gifts. I don't even give her birthday gifts. No, she gets zero. I met her again when I was in Ukraine in January. That was it. So I established what the goals are, why I have it, what the process is. I need what information do I need to know in order to attain it, and what resources do I need to have in order to attain it. Write that out, and then go attain the resources, and then go try to execute the goal. And then I'm pretty much relentless to attain the goal. It doesn't matter what the personal cost is for me or the emotional cost. If you know me personally, you know that the emotional and personal costs tend to be extremely high. I have a lot of goals that I have attained, but the cost is brutal. I don't care though, because I'd rather be on the other side of the goal than where I am right now.
Just curious, you said something about if she would, be willing to come and have your kid. Basically, you want a family, in other words. And if you meet a woman that purport herself the way that you would like a woman to, you would, have kids. Basically, you want to move you a foreign chick here and have a family with her. Basically, that's long term. That's what you want to do.
If she agrees and she's 100% on my program, yes.
This chick who clearly seemed like she want to be with you. She don't want to come and do that. If assuming they'll just work with the framework that's a good idea, which it may or may not be. But just that aside, if she just don't want to do it right now.
Some women want to come over and work. And so those women who want to come over and work, I just drop them
So yes, all right, yes. She ain't coming over on some do whatever you want to do. She just want to come over and benefit from America and just use you as just the launching point potentially. Then once she can work and make her own American money, she'll live her own American life.
Let me go ahead and
that's why you
let me comment on this real quick. So Ukraine women have a history of working, and I know there are Ukrainians here. I know, and all the women work. If they have children, they still work. And my point on with her is I don't even care what other Ukrainian women do. You have one option with me, and that's to have kids and stay at home. And if you're not going to do that, I'll find another Ukrainian or find Japanese or Brazilian who will do this. And I don't care what you say. I'll stay single for the rest of my life. I don't care.
I got a question, Theo. Do you believe in state-sanctioned marriage, or would you do a contractual?
Another way to get a visa is if you have a marriage. You can't do it without.
Oh, so you're gonna marry her first, and then you bring them in, or how about in states? What if you meet a woman here in the States? Would you get married? Okay, that's a hell no. Okay.
Let me just give a plug real quick. I usually talk only on Little Big Nate's show. Okay. And I talk about this kind of stuff all the time. And I mean, I could always say, like we always say this, not all APWs are bad, but oh my God. And like, I can't say that it's impossible for me to marry American woman, but
okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you don't want to set yourself up as a target. Is create yourself.
That's why I don't date American women.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
I think I don't think you got to tell him not to set himself up as a target.
No,
if anything, he's overcorrecting. Becoming the target.
Theo, bro, you, how much you make again?
$50,000 a month minimum.
A month, right?
Facts.
What you're doing is working for you. How much money are you losing doing the things your way, brother? Can you tell us how much money you're losing doing things your way?
Nothing, man. I'm making money.
Okay. Just let me help you out, man. I'm gonna be a wingman here for a second. So, is anybody up here else on the panel making $50,000 a month?
Bro, you just going off.
I'm not afraid to say I'm not doing it. I mean, that's some spectacular shit to make $50,000 fucking dollars a month. So when a man is exceeding expectations of not just black men in general, and it's working for him, the dumbest thing in the world to do is try to get up and convince him that he's doing something wrong. Maybe you should, instead of trying to tell him he's doing something wrong, you should try and learn something from him, because he's superseded fucking pussy, the importance of pussy. He don't give a fuck about pussy. Motherfuckers out here that are controlled by pussy can't get pussy, don't do nothing but care about pussy. Keep trying to tell this man, hey, give yourself back to pussy. He's keep telling you, no, nigga, I'm not worried about the pussy. It's not that important. I'm more worried about getting this motherfucking money, and I'm pretty sure by any means whatever, shout out to Sexy Red, okay? That $50,000 will make a bitch holler, okay? If no matter what bitch he want, $50,000 a month, she gonna do for a chance at a piece of change. Okay, so what smart people do is understand.
I wasn't talking about that. I mean, you coming up here with personal grievances and stuff.
I didn't interrupt nobody.
I don't know why you got personal grievances. Why you bringing your personal grievances up here?
I didn't interrupt nobody. I waited my turn.
Why are you bringing your personal? Actually, you can't. Actually, you butted in.
What smart people do is this. What smart people do is this. But again, these are smart people. They learn when to shut the fuck.
The man just came up here and he was talking about another lady. He said he's not worried about pussy.
I wasn't even up here. I ain't cut nobody off. Again, I'm just saying what I gotta say.
I'm not telling them that he's making a mistake or nothing like that. What I was explaining to
everybody
him was
sees
basically
what's happening here.
Goddamn, do you ever be quiet?
Don't give successful men advice, okay? Failures do not talk.
So like I was saying before I got cut off,
you weren't talking. You weren't talking.
Don't take
just because you buy an iPhone, you don't get to call up Apple and tell them what the fuck to do, bro.
You buy an iPhone, okay. So.
All right.
Yeah, this is entertainment like a motherfucker.
Hey man, Theo, you should start. Maybe you should start a motherfucking relationship channel or some shit, Theo. Maybe you should give these men some motherfucking women's advice. I mean, you highly successful and shit, and you know what I mean. I'm just saying, man. You gotta respect the source, bro. You know what I mean? You got to understand what the source is. You want results or you want fucking hope? Just saying.
You letting Dirty Max up here really talk to you.
Again.
So anyway,
all right, yeah, we gotta wrap it. We gotta wrap that up. All right.
Like I was saying,
I'd rather be a Dirty Mac than a failure,
bro. Like I was saying before Scratchy Phone came up here to start yelling. Like I was saying before, bro. Enjoy your money. Don't set yourself up as a target and have fun.
Well, some you may not never know nothing about. Some you may not never know nothing about.
Don't take it too seriously. Make sure you're in an interaction where you're having fun and enjoying yourself. Also, don't take it too seriously.
Bro, honestly, man, I think this dude got everything figured out, man. Like you trying to give him advice, but he's making $50,000 a month, bro. You can't get up here and tell a nigga that's making $50,000 a month of how to live his life, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Like real talk. Let's keep it 100, man. This nigga, he really is doing it. So you coming up here trying to offer him advice, bro.
Bro. Let's not keep it 100. Let's keep it 50,000. Let's keep it 50,000, my nigga.
I didn't catch that. All right.
Up here with a whole Scratchy Phone talking about so you can.
All right. Edwin Walker
still body you on this Scratchy Phone as I always do. You lame ass nigga.
Hold on. All right. That's enough. Y'all got it out. Y'all got it out. All right, we done. Edwin Walker in the building with a $25 super chat. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to Edwin Walker. Appreciate that. Uncle Ruckus the commie in the building. Go ahead, you got the floor, you got the mic.
Hey man, the only issue I got with Theo right now is that this entire time, like he hasn't talked about how white supremacy was the reason why he was on the streets. You feel me? So how you not talking about what the white man did to you and how the white man had you
you can't even go through it without cracking up.
Man, come
on. The white man had
Hi, I'm Snuggly Softness. That's really less expensive.
All right, man. Y'all on some full blown foolishness and effery right now. I almost want to say, hey, let's do closing statements. But if I start with fantastic, everything just gonna go back.
I'll make it quick, Bernard. You know how I get down, man. But I want to do it, bro. I'm gonna be on up out of here, bro.
Yeah, I was trying to wrap it up at 3, but it kept going and going and going. But all right, we're gonna do closing statements. We're gonna start with fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard. Shout out to Theo, man, brother. Again, man, your story is extremely inspirational, and again, what we talk about in this space all the times. Hey, man, you can overcome stuff. You can be successful, and no matter how bad you're down. This man said he was homeless 3 times, bro. 3, not once, not twice, but thrice. All right, and now he's making $50,000 a year, and it's all because he learned how to properly prioritize that pussy. All right.
How much you say you're making a year?
He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. $50,000 a month, my bad. $50,000 a month, my bad, bro.
Yeah, that's 600,000 a year. If you
So again, man, the high value is of high value. Okay, as Kevin Samuels would say. So again, man, the smartest thing to do would be able to listen to this brother and not necessarily have to go step by step and be an exact photocopy of what he did to get to his point and understanding of women and female nature, what we always talk about here. But pick his brain a little bit, man, and not only that, but especially from the brother said he invests the IT field, he's in this. So again, man, instead of trying to tell this man more ways of how to become a slave to the pussy again, maybe brother should be getting up here and like shout out to the brother Monk Luigi that came up here and asked him, what was some of his certifications and the way he went about doing it and all these things, bro. Again, bro, a man ain't never lost motherfucking pussy over chasing money, but he always go lose, money over chasing pussy. And the dumbest nigga in the world is the person that's gonna get up here and tell a man, making $50,000 a month, he need to get back out here and do whatever
Says
he
the
needs
nigga
to do to
that
chase
chase
that
pussy.
pussy again. But anyway, man, you got it,
chasing
Bernard.
pussy in
Appreciate
space.
Yeah, shout out to Anne Marie. Says, I'm a 50-year-old fat black woman. That's just funny to just come out the gate with it. I'm a 50-year-old fat black woman who spent 5 plus 24 years married. That's 2 marriages. All right. Good on. Okay. All right. The guy currently talking, I think he's talking about Theo, has hit the nail on the head. Mr. Theo, I think she was talking about Theo, or maybe Mr. Fantastic, but I think Theo was talking when she wrote this because she's describing what Theo said. Mr. Theo is getting it done on his terms. That is all. Well, she might even talk about Fantastic. Who knows what she was talking about? But right there, shout out to you. Appreciate the $20 super chat. And that is my biggest takeaway from Theo, that he is getting it done on his turn. He is, he's hesitant, and like I said, feeding him with a long handle spoon when it comes back to really getting out there, truly messing with the ladies again. It seems like he's looking for a wife, but he's doing it a very cautious way. Very, very cautious way, because he understands his value and what he potentially has to lose. If he just wanted some, random pussy, okay, he can, I think he can go get that if he just wanted that. But no, he wants a family, and it takes a lot to qualify to be the wife, the housewife, and mother of the children of a man who's built himself up to where he's now making $500,000 a year. So that's the trepidation and over cautiousness and taking his time and getting back out there with some woman. And what a lot of people hear with that is, but you ain't getting no pussy though. But and he's got to the point where he don't care. I'm not there. I got to get one off. But I respect what you're trying to do. I respect where you're going with it. I respect what you're doing.
Hey Bernard, you got to give Anne Marie some credit though, because most of the fatties usually call themselves thick, but she came straight out the gate and said she's a fatty.
You sound like
the honesty,
on that one. And she probably wasn't fat. I mean, she been married. If she's 50 and she's got 29 years of marriage on her belt, she's been married pretty much her whole adult life. So she's been a woman in so she probably
salute to her.
Yeah,
salute to her.
She got fat probably at the tail end of the marriages. I mean, yeah, so I ain't knocking her. It just came out the gate weird. That's all. I just put it mildly like that. But no, shout out to her. She's been attached to a man her whole life.
Yo, can you highlight that last comment again?
Which one? The last super chat?
The last comment that you highlighted. I think it was like just the last comment that was by Lotus.
Yeah.
These niggas will never learn.
Homeless, making 15K per month, messing with women, and y'all applauding him, saying he needs no help. The intelligence, dude. You watch the whole stream. Right now, he overcame all of that. He fixed himself. He fixed every problem he had. He stopped dealing with those women. 15K a month is poverty to him right now. He's making $50,000 a month, $600K a year right now, and
I think
doing
he's
just
going
fine.
off the title, because the title says 15.
Well, that's what a lot of Negroes do.
Yeah. He responded to the title. A whole movie played, and at the end of the movie, that's like when Will Smith was a bum in Pursuit of Happiness. It's like he knows that much right there. He ain't seeing the end of it when he became a Wall Street stockbroker or whatever he became at the end of the movie, and everybody praising him and applauding. He's like, "Why y'all applauding that bum sleeping in the public bathroom?" That's what he just did.
That's
all right.
He got the all-seeing eye. He got the all-seeing eye, but he couldn't hear none of this.
Great observation. Great observation.
All-seeing eye, but he go come here and make a comment based on the goddamn thumbnail.
And he paid. Remember,
all-seeing eye with a cataract in it. So
and he paid to make that comment, by the way.
And
Oh, my
people in the
goodness.
chat are asking if I have a channel. The only place where I really talk most of the time is Little Big Nate.
Drop the
So-
link. Drop the Little Big Nate. Drop the link to Little Big Nate channel.
Yeah.
We'll do that
So
then.
I do go in there and contribute quite a lot. He has a good channel, a good platform to actually talk. I come over here every once in a while. I'm a student in KS. That's where I usually view. So learning a lot with KS. KS is the one who's actually progressing me more towards actually having a family.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Salute.
All right, I forgot we was doing closing words. I got distracted. Uncle Ruck is a comment. You got any final words to give us as we get up out of here?
I mean, all jokes aside, man. Shout out to Theo. This is actually an extraordinary story. One thing that you did for me today, Theo, is I felt bad about all of my simping stories. But bro, I gotta tell you, man, I ain't ever become homeless. So
yeah, when you slip your way into sleeping on the streets while making $15K a month, that takes the cake. That's the mother of all simp stories. I'm sorry.
Super Saiyan sipping, man. Super Saiyan.
So you kind of helped me there. You kind of helped me there. At least I don't have to feel so bad because my. But no, all jokes aside, man. Shout out to you, brother. You doing your thing. Like Fantastic was saying, you doing what works for you. No shade to Kuda, but just what works for you, man. Just keep it up.
All right, cool. We're gonna go to, and I'm about to. What's that? Hold on. We're going to the guy who's streaming from the Shire, from Middle Earth somewhere.
Oh God.
Hollow Earth on Kong versus Godzilla. That's where he at right now. But what is that? Monk Luigi.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Yes, this is the temple. It's a green screen background with the GIF in the back. So appreciate having me on. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for the information. Thank you, Mr. Theo, for all the information and answering my questions. I always catch the streams on the off end, so I think this is my second time actually being on screen for y'all. I do have a channel as well, YouTube. Check out Monk Luigi, and I do Twitch stream my games and stuff. So Theo, thank you for all the knowledge. I definitely took a lot of these questions. I definitely took a lot of these answers because I want to also put it out to the VA hospital as well as since I work in medicine, I'm a medical assistant. So I'm going to go ahead and take this knowledge and also pass it on to others on how they can grow themselves as well. So I appreciate everyone here, and thank you for having me on. Truly.
Right on. Bro, Truth, you got the floor, you got the mic.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me up, Bernard. A lot of stories that you told, I take to heart. You know what I mean? Because it's just a different story, but it definitely rhymes. Because me coming out of the Army definitely went through a lot of tough times, and I look back. I got a gang of simping ass stories too, man. A lot of fucking unnecessary drama with chicks, bro. And I commend you for coming on and telling your story, man. Having the courage to do so. A lot of folk, especially in this space, they'll come here and present themselves as bulletproof, like they never been through anything. They've been macking since birth, which is complete bullshit.
Complete.
Ain't that man, that's about something that built something, ain't just arrived, Ain't that man worth something just arrived at that point in his life. There's always going to be struggle, and that's what makes a man. And I appreciate you sharing that struggle with us, man. And it's a lot of motivation, a lot of technical tips that you gave that I will definitely incorporate. I think streams like this is very motivational, so I appreciate that. Thanks for having me up, Bernard, once again.
All right, go ahead. Damn, I think the order
Thank
was
you very much.
Go ahead, Kuda, you got it. Kuda.
Congratulations to you. Like I was saying, enjoy yourself, enjoy your money. You worked hard for it. You done been through some trials and tribulations, all I'm saying is just, don't take what you're doing don't take, the whole marriage thing super serious. Make sure you have fun, and then find, the right one will come along. That's all.
Right on. Good stuff. Go ahead, little big Nate. You got the floor, you got the mic.
Yeah, in closing, like Theo said, you can catch him anywhere between 2 and 3 times a week on my platform speaking, very entertaining, very insightful, offers a lot to the conversation. And, he talked about suicide, and he had the courage to talk about that, which, can earn you criticism and insults from people. And, like being accused of being weak and everything. But how many of the men in this space have dealt with that issue too? And how many of you would have the courage to come up and talk about it? Okay. But I am so thankful he made it through that. And he's a great addition to the channel. So make sure you subscribe to Little Big Nate channel, come through and check out my man Theo. He texted me something that I don't even know if it's wrapped around my head yet. I can't say what it is because I'm going to interview him about it because it's such a quantum shift from where he used to be on something. But we'll be talking about it soon. And Bernard, man, I appreciate it, gentlemen. You folks take care.
No doubt, no doubt. Thanks.
Hey, Bernard, can I just add something on what Logan just said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really important what Big Nate just said about the suicide thing, man. I'm significantly younger than you, Theo, but I've actually been through like the feeling suicidal phase and whatnot. And see, all jokes aside, like that, I think that's one of the things that's the hardest is because you feel weak. You know what I'm saying? You feel weak and you feel like other men are gonna judge you, so you can't talk to men about it, and then you can't let women know that you're feeling that way as well. So it's like you pretty much all you got is you in that moment. At least I know for me, that's what it was for me. It's like all you got is you, because it's like I can't let my homies know this because they're gonna judge me, even if they're not really trying to be dickheads, but they're gonna look at me like I'm weak and stuff like that. So shout out to you, brother, for real. This is really dope. This is a really dope stream just for stuff like that alone. So I just wanted to add that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Theo, you got the mic. Take us home, man. Take us home.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to my story. For Bernard, for having me on here. I hope I added some value to your channel. And the point I have to say is that the Black Manosphere exists for a reason. I'm glad to participate here and glad to call this my home. And men, keep on posting, keep on talking. Don't be ashamed of what you've been through. And I just want to say, I couldn't talk a lot about what I had been through like for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And things were coming out very slowly and it was very painful. And I said, I want to say to people, don't be scared of it. Face the fear, go head first into it, but go at your pace and you will get through it. And when you get at the end, it is wonderful. You sit back and you're like, this is the way it should have been from day one. How did I get where I was? Okay, fine. Now I've got it. I'm going to live my life. And that's where I'm at right now. Again, I want to encourage people to keep on participating in the Manosphere. Talk. You don't have to give money like I do. You don't have to give like training sessions for free like I'm giving in Atlanta in October. All I ask is that
I'm going to make it down there. I'm going to make it down there.
I want to see you, Bernard.
Yeah.
I asked you guys
a seminar down there, basically, right?
Seminar how to actually make the money, but how you actually have to deal with corporate America and deal with it. And it's the red pill for corporate America. That's I dropped the red pill first with corporations, and then I did women because women was much more difficult because I've been learning all these years that they're perfect, and if anything happens, it's because of the man, and you have to get rid of that. You have to slowly get it out of your mind. It's very intricate in your mind. But with the corporations, like, I know you guys are jerks, so I'm going to deal with you guys like jerks. So yeah, I'm going to explain how it all works. But again, guys, I want you to keep on participating. People like, again, I'm going back to Sandman and Karen. Those people were very brave to say what they were saying, and they couldn't say it. Sandman still hasn't shown his face. And you have YouTube and other platforms removing our voices, removing what we're saying, and we're saying what we've actually experienced, and we can't say our voice. I say, guys, don't stop, because someone else is going to be listening, and you don't know if that person listens, gets the courage to give up the bottle, to give up the gun, to give up the horrible path that they're taking and take a different one. And it takes strength and courage to do it. and you might be the one little leaf, that one little breath of air that they have to actually help them get to that point. So do it. Keep on participating. This is where you need to be.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And with that said, well, shout out to Rashad Glover. Appreciate you with the $3 super sticker on the way out the door. Came through at the buzzer. Appreciate you. And we're about to get up out of here, fellas. I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the show, whether you like, share, subscribe, super chatted, cash app, or whatever you did to participate with the show in any way, shape, or form. I'd like to thank you. And while I'm sitting here thanking people, I always forget to shout out those who cash app. So shout out to Lim Hendricks. Shout out to you. Mr. Fantastic sent the cash app. Shout out to you. And I see what you suggested right there. That would have been funny at the time. He said, D-Rock Den with his usual $5 cash app. He says, we all have simp stories from the past. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And with that said, everybody, we are out of here. Peace. Today's show is brought to you by the Division 6 comic book, created and produced by Michael Varner and executive producer Theodore Young. Division 6 is a James Bond meets Mission Impossible-like geopolitical thriller. The protagonist is Seth Banks, an African-American male genius in cryptology and economics that secretly works for a rogue organization of the CIA called Division 6. Be sure to click the link in the chat room or in the video description to view the comic book. New chapters are added bi-weekly.